just shouldn't have called the video. I mean, obviously, I'm courting a little bit of controversy, calling it that, and talking about populism in that way.
Oh, but, if you want the nice definition of populism, by the way, I have it for you. I'll send it to you.
They talked about 3 hours about the goddamn definition. Let's not do that. No.
But I find
I've figured it out. That's all right. Okay, go, Brian. What do you got?
Let me pull this up. How do you feel about the definition of populism being something like an anti-elitist movement that claims that they or their group represent the people, and their political competitors are an immoral or corrupt elite? I mean, yeah.
Genocide stuff or whatever.
You, a yucky diaper.
A yucky diaper? Uh-oh. Come here, Bjorny. Daddy has to change your diaper. Nope. Hold on. 1 second, Bjorny.
It's very cold.
Is it very cold? Hold on, Bjorny. Hold on, Bjorny, wait. Bjorn. It's okay, my pumpy little flumpy. But Daddy has to put a new diaper on you. Okay? Wait, new diaper?
No.
Wait, diaper?
No.
Yes, you have to have a diaper.
No.
Come on, sweetie. That's enough of that. Come on. No fighting! No fighting! Just do what I say. Shush. Quiet. Come on. Oh my goodness gracious, Bjorny. Are you my Baptist little Baptist from a Baptist McBaptist? Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious, Bjorny. Yes. Batch. Oh no, Grunky. Are you my kinky hunky of the funky but hunky? Shappy little flappy. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Humpy little humpy. With a rimpus, bimpus, McFlubberump. Hold on, we have to put clothing on. Bjorn, shorts are for Bjorn. Shorts. Time to put your shorts on. Shorts. Shorts. I want to wear my shorts.
No, I don't want to wear my shorts.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to wear my shorts.
No.
Good. Wearing your shorts is good for you.
No.
Yes, wearing your shorts is good for you, Bjorn.
No.
Come here. Sit. 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 Stay. You have to put your shorts on. Okay, my empty little bimpy. Okay, my hookus snookus of a flukus magrukus. Joining. Time for your shirt. Way shirt. Cause you're my utchy little blutchy. From a hitchy hutchy McFlutchy garutchy. Now, what the fuck do these charge with? Oh, Type C. Imagine my shock. Yummy God, Bjorny.
No more fruits. Jumping on the bed. Daddy, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm gonna cook for Bjorn. That's what I'm doing. Daddy finger, where are you?
Out to do.
Daddy finger, what do you do?
Wait for you, that's what I do.
You're so cute, Bjorn.
Because otherwise it sounds like we were
I
just saying.
think that you're defining populism in a way that is so parochial then that it ceases to be of really any.
Well, sure, wait. I know. Wait, let me. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me write this down. Sorry. Okay. I feel like that you're defining populist in a way though that is so reductive. It's necessarily true of literally every single revolution ever. Would you say that Lenin and Trotsky?
No.
Well, wait. Okay. So for like Lenin and Trotsky or whatever, for the Russian Empire, when they overthrew the czars, was that a populist uprising?
Well, they didn't. Well, the timeline's a little off there, but yeah, I think that the Bolsheviks were. Yeah, they were a populist movement. Yeah.
Is there any type of like revolution? It's not like a populist movement.
So, I agree with Ryan on that one. That was popular.
Sure. But hold on. Are there any kinds of uprisings that aren't populist uprisings? Because it feels like by the definition of what you're saying, you're basically saying any time there's enough people to enact a certain political change or to enact some kind of like violent revolution, it's always a populist thing.
No. I mean, there's most revolutions in the world have not been popular revolutions. They've been something more akin to like a palace coup. And
Okay,
those things are
so
not.
when you say
populist.
when you say popular, then are you saying that anything that has like broad support of the people is populist?
No, I would say that populist is pretty similar to the definition that Mr. Mooten provided about being a movement that
Against the corrupt elites,
aims
yes.
to represent the
Important
common
bit.
the corrupt elite. Yeah, I would say that that's the defining trait of populism.
I think that the problem is that when we're looking at that definition, we're saying like a corrupt elite, but like populists, from my understanding and then from my real world engagement with them, populists do not talk about like a particular corrupt elite. The elite class is always a lowercase e, very, 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 very broadly defined. Always, it is literally the noun and the adjective in itself. That's it. Like the elite is everybody. And
I think that I just think brand is the elite as well.
Sure.
I think I would just look. I think I can look at history and I can see examples of when that wasn't the case. Now, I will say, just to sort of shift gears a little bit, because again, I think that when it comes down to brass tacks, I don't think that there's actually much difference in like what I'm practically recommending to what a lot of people. Like, I don't think there's too much disagreement there. What I think that the problem is the definition, and you know that's fine. I don't really care whether or not we call it popular.
Wait. Well, let's hold on. I want to tease this out a little bit more because there might be conceptually some kind of difference here that I think is important and worth going through. I think when I'm saying there's like a difference between like an elite versus the elite. Like I feel like sometimes you're treating this as a concept.
I understand what you're saying.
Sure.
Just real quick, that's a defining characteristic of populism.
Sure. Okay, and maybe not. But every time you defend that concept, you're saying like historically. Can you give me a single example of MAGA or DSA right now that are engaged in what you claim historically populism has ever been about? Because I can't think of a single. All of it is overly broad.
I'm not trying to do apologia for MAGA.
No. I'm not saying you're doing apologia. I'm just trying to say like
to be better.
Sure. Well, when you say to be populist, it sounds like you're saying that in the way that populism is just not understood at all right now. That's what I'm trying to understand. So I'm not claiming you're doing apology or anything. I'm just curious, like, if you look at the way that any populist movement today is operating, are any of them focusing on like a particular thing, or because it always feels like a very, very, very broad?
I think that there's a lot of great politicians in the Democratic Party who have done a good job of trying to capture some of this energy and make it more specific. So the example that I gave in my video on populism is Ossoff. I think he does a great job at capturing some of this energy, talking about sort of the Trump administration as a corrupt elite, but not just the Trump administration, also some of the people that surround the Trump administration. I think Tallarico does this to an extent. I think there's a rising tide of some of this among some of the more successful Democratic politicians. And
Sure,
I think
but then I feel like
I'm going to say the MAGA or the DSA.
I would say Ossoff's rhetoric. I would just push you to say that like, it's populist then for me to point out that the Trump administration is like clearly and obviously corrupt.
I think that is a kind of populism. Yeah, to talk about the Trump administration as representing a corrupt elite that's robbing the people. I think.
Well, you're using a different. Hold on, wait. That's a different. When you say representing, I mean the Trump admin is corrupt. Like there is a they just are, right? But when you say representing a corrupt elite, you made it. I think that it's a small word you've added, but I think it makes a huge difference in what we're talking about because a lot of people would say, or who identify as populists, would say, yeah, well, Trump is that's every rich person in the United States, that's every politician. Period. He does represent all of them, and that's why it makes a populist.
Ossoff doesn't just talk about the Trump administration. He does talk about some of the people that surround the Trump administration, and I think some of the other politicians that I would point to as good examples of this also talk about like the corrupt dealings with Trump and the business community. So I do think represent is an accurate word there. They don't just talk about the Trump administration.
I guess when I think of represent, I'm thinking of like this person is like metaphorically a stand-in for an entire noun. Like
Well, maybe I shouldn't have used that word, but do you see what I'm getting at here, or is it totally unclear?
Well, I think I see what you're getting at, but the issue is like if that's not the word you would use, then because yeah, Trump doesn't have.
Clearly, I shouldn't have used the word if it's not. If it's not.
But yeah, but I can't tell. That's what I'm trying to. I don't know if there's like a conceptual difference between what we're understanding here, or if it is literally just like something.
I really don't think so. I think that the major problem that a lot of people have is just that they define populism in a way that I do not. But I'm not super attached to the idea of using the word populism.
Right.
I'm not super about that.
The problem I personally have is that when you speak about this, it always sounds like you're talking, it's pointing out the corruption of someone who is legitimately could be perceived as elite, which would, obviously Trump would be, is populism.
Yeah.
So and it's just not it. It's not it. It's just, I don't know, we're gonna fight about the definition again, but that's like the problem I have with it, and I think reality in America right now shows that that's not it. Because
I think we're going by the definition that I really don't want to keep doing this.
yeah, I agree. I also don't want to fucking talk about 3% of the definitions.
I think there's great examples of Democratic politicians doing things that I would call populist. You don't have to call them populist. I would call them populist. I think sorry, I missed the first.
Ossoff is the guy you brought up as a good example, right? Of someone who you.
Hello, Ricky Raccoon 444.
But it's just that
Right now, I am cooking my son some dinner. That's what I'm doing right now.
But does he ever say something like, what would be the example? The people
Nice to meet you.
of the corrupt elites have put an end to this, and have the government that represents the people. Does he do those kind of speeches at all?
I mean,
Or
I
does he
think
speak
that's
Trump and the corruption of his particular administration? That is true.
Yep, that's on the agenda too.
I think the way that I would describe Ossoff and his sort of style.
I'll go get it right now. I'll be right back. I got it in vape form.
Administration for sure, and I think it's correct.
And yes, I know that's late, but it's all I can do
I
where I
don't
live.
understand the idea that populism has to be a vague thing. So, I just sort of want to point out that I sort of disagree at a foundational level that if something's not vague, it makes it not populist. But I'll engage with this as it is. So, I think that Ossoff talks about the Trump administration, but he also talks about the way that
Got that right,
corruption of the
motherfucker.
Trump administration represents
You're goddamn right.
how American politics in general has been corrupted. So it's framed through the lens of the Trump administration, but it's pretty obvious to me that he's talking about broader systems. And he himself talked about the broader systems of American politics that in his view have become corrupted.
I guess
So
what
I
I'm
don't know.
so I guess what I'm thinking of. Fuck me. Never mind. I just lost it. I'm sorry. You're back.
Well, I need to listen to what he says then, because from what I heard, was very much pointed, and he never brought out the fucking broader consultant class, or the elites are not working for you, they're working for themselves.
Team class.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I didn't kind of.
You think about Epstein class. He was one of the big popularizers.
That's a populist, definitely populist move, I would say, yeah.
He was one of the guys that I think Ro Khanna was first. It really took off after Ossoff used it in a speech.
I think. Well, I can't say I only saw a couple of speeches.
Tell me something interesting about yourself, my friend.
That's all I thought. So I need to watch some more videos.
What do you think my concern is?
I think. Would you say that again?
So if I see people like you, so if I see you kind of defending the concept of well, there could be liberal versions of populism, or there are ways that we can engage in populism that's beneficial to us. What do you think my issue is? Why would I possibly have an issue with what you're saying?
I think that your definition of populism is, and it makes sense why it would be this way, because we live in the world that we live in, is inherently tied to things like lying and illiberalism and probably to some extent an authoritarian personality. I think that's probably your problem with it. And I think that's probably a lot of people's problem with it.
Do you think that's Do you think that's my only issue? Is just that because I have no definition, or do you think that's my or I guess what I'm getting at, I guess,
Whatever
one of my big issues is that I feel like if you were to make the same arguments to say that like Nazism doesn't have to, or like the essentialized race that we can talk about for a Nazi, it could be like the American race, and that we can have everything that Nazis talked about, but like we can just broaden up what like the race of an American is, or something like that, some argument akin to that, and then say there were a bunch of like Nazis in the country that were happy to see that some people were more amenable to these Nazi arguments. The issue that I have, I guess, is that I understand that you have historical examples of populism, and I understand you have ways that you would want to wield populism, but for every single modern iteration that I see of anything that is even remotely populist heavily bends towards this like all or nothing direction in a way that I find both corrosive to our current political discourse and incompatible with like liberal democracy. Identify these broad evil groups of people and it precludes any kind of like conversation about politics. It's just all.
This is why I tried to give some good examples in the video. You know, I think both Ossoff and
I live in Kentucky at the moment, but I lived in Ohio for a long time, in a few different cities in Ohio, Dayton, Columbus, Cincinnati. Right now I live just across the border from Cincinnati in northern Kentucky, in Covington actually.
What I don't see
And
I feel like every
I've also lived in Nevada, and I was actually born in California, lived there till I was 5.
Identifying classes of people.
Yes sir, Ohio. That's where I was raised since the age of 6 until I was like 16.
Definitionally no, because they're literally referring to Epstein like a particular guy.
Hell yeah.
It could, but insofar as it does,
It's always good to meet an Ohio brother.
I would say these are like deals with the devil. That you're
Why?
making.
What state? Are you in Ohio? What state are you?
Sometimes maybe you have to give up on some policies.
You were born in Cali? No fucking shit, bro. I was born in Cali.
These are bad actions.
Oh, you're moving to Ohio next year? Oh, that's cool as hell.
Not like something that should be celebrated or seen as like a welcome.
Escondido, California? That's where you were born?
I mean, I just disagree with the idea. Like I said before, I
You're
sort
in
of
Florida
disagree
right now. I got
foundationally
you.
with the idea that populism has
Florida's
to
cool.
be vague in the way that
I
you
had
seem
an
to
absolute
think it
blast
has to
playing
be. So
underwater
that's sort
hockey
of foundational
in
disagreement
a
that's
tournament
gonna
in Florida when I was in high school.
Sure. Then I guess my only question, and I guess, and I don't know if I've heard your address before, my only question would be, what in your mind, what is the difference between just like populist versus like a popular thing?
Well, it's what it's the difference between it's whether or not you're talking about it in the sense of representing the common people as opposed to a corrupt elite. There's plenty of things that are popular that aren't.
It's not like Cali, brother. It's not like Cali. Ohio's better. I mean, you can find them anywhere, but it's a 10x downgrade from Cali. Let's put it that way.
Because how many people are recommending political ideas that aren't? I feel like everybody tries to appeal to the popularity.
Yeah, there's a lot of
That's what I'm saying, man.
there's a lot of conservative girls out here for sure. Again, you can find them anywhere that you try to find them, but around here, you know, a ton of the pretty ones just leave and go to like New York and California, so you got like whatever's left, and also they're dressed down and shit a lot of the time because they're all conservative and shit, so.
Now, you might be able to frame it as populist.
Yeah, I would say it definitely is. Because how do people in the United States political system, how do they always talk about the debt and the deficit?
Well, I think this is sort of getting to the problem. Populism is not like a thick ideology. It's a communication style more than you
It's
sometimes
not
see it
really a
referred to
cowboy
as,
boots kind of
thin
place.
ideology
It's not
in
Texas.
the political science
It's like
literature.
more
But
country
it's
roads,
not like a thick ideology. You can make a populist
pickup
appeal
trucks and country
to
roads.
just about anything if you twist it enough.
Dirty
Now,
work
I think
boots.
some things
That's the
are
vibe.
more amenable to populism than others. So, for instance,
Yeah,
I
I
think
know,
like
brother,
it's
I
going to
know.
be pretty hard to have like a person
Can't wait
who
to
comes
get out of
and
fucking
says,
Kentucky, bro. I swear to God.
Let's restrict
But
the vote
I actually
to
live in a
only
place
people
that was an
property
arms
and
depot
have that
during
be
the
like a
Civil War
populist thing. Now, you
for
could,
the
in
Union
theory,
Army, so I think
imagine
that's pretty
someone
fucking
who
cool,
would
actually.
campaign on that in like a populist way.
Even though it's
But
in
I think
Covington,
that
Kentucky,
that doesn't
since it's right across the
lend
border.
itself to a populist style.
Well,
as
and
as,
Kentucky
like,
also fought for the North and the
opposite
South,
of
too.
expanding the vote.
Sure, I think I don't necessarily disagree with you there. Then I should have qualified a little bit harder. Sorry, the qualification would have been in a democratic system. I feel like every single thing is essentially going to be populist because you're always making appeals to the people to win elections.
I think there's a degree to which that's true, but it's important to qualify that
I
by
know,
saying that making an appeal to the people is not the same thing as claiming to represent the people against a corrupt establishment. Right? So you can try and convince people that a policy is good on any number of merits, right? You can try and convince them that it's better for their wallet, better for their family in some way, it's the morally correct thing to do. But if you don't say, and this is representing your interests against the interest of a corrupt established elite, I wouldn't call that populist. That's just trying to convince people that a policy is good.
Okay, I need to ask this. My brain can hold the thought so long. Okay, my question though is to Ryan mostly, but also pretty much to everyone. So we have this problem, everyone noticed that, right? That there is a conflation in people's mind that the Democrats and Republicans are the same. And if our job is to equally corrupt or they're all the same, all that language is very popular in America right now. And a lot of people feel disenfranchised, disillusioned, and our job, your job, not mine, but your job is to kind of make them excited about the Democratic Party, supporting the Democratic Party, like going to vote, all that sort of stuff, right? So that seems like a practical thing, right?
Yeah.
And you think, why appealing to the populist stuff, that's how we're gonna energize them, right?
Like
So my question
potential
is,
option.
one of the options,
Yeah, one of the options.
Yeah, so
I don't want everyone. I think it's totally fine for people to disagree with what I'm saying. In fact, I think it's probably necessary, or else we'll get to the same situation. Go ahead.
So my question is that if that's the core problem, why is that happening? Why do so many people in America consider those two things to be the same when they're not? And that's my biggest problem with the populists, because they conflate those things by design. That's why people like DC people like Crystal Ball, for example, right? Breaking points. The conflation is by design to make people see those people are the same. That reduces their energy and their willingness to participate. Because why the
Have a great day, brother. Hey, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.
Same sort of shit. If voting for Trump is the same as voting for Kamala, if you listen to people like Hassan, for example, right? Like, who cares? What's the difference? So that's my problem with populism. It's not exactly the same as what Steven says, but that's because that, in my opinion, that's the best tool to make people not support the Democratic Party, not support.
I agree that is a horrible, but probably more importantly, just incorrect description of reality. The Republican and Democratic parties are not the same. I think it's important though to be so that is a very popular framing of things in American politics. But I think it's important to think about what are people actually saying whenever they say that the Republicans and Democrats are the same. I don't think that the average voter literally thinks that the Republicans and Democrats are the same. I think we can see this by the fact that people express clear partisan preferences. They clearly don't think that both parties are the same. They vote for
They do think that. A lot of them think that there's no difference. So what do we do?
But I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, I think that if they're saying that they don't feel like people are standing up for the average person, if they don't feel like people are
Yeah, but the populists, the guys you say are good, are the ones doing that. They are the ones who imprinted that thought into people's mind that there's no difference. If they're all Gaza genocide, whatever the fuck, or the APAC, or like all of that language, Epstein class, whatever, right? If all of them are part of it, then like what's the difference? And that seems to be the prominent feeling I catch from people. And how does populism solve it? It doesn't. It creates it, though, is my problem.
I just don't think that saying that the Republicans and Democrats are the same is a necessary component of populism.
Okay, fine. I give up. It's gonna be the definition battle again, and it's just...
Well, but this is what I'm saying, right? Like, if you disagree with the definition of populism, that's fine. That's not really the point of the video. The point of the video and the kind of...
I think the big from what I've seen, the video seems good. It's just that I'm not concerned about it. I told Steven immediately that I think that's a correct shit you said there. Like, you know, it's just that your prescription is what I'm worried about. So what do we do about it is what I'm worried about.
What do you think we should do to sort of realize a little more energy?
I'm too Eastern European to answer questions like that without cringing. So I don't like giving advice to people about their own country. But to me, the problem is,
What do you think? Liberalism.
I don't think that the populism is your answer. Is my big problem. Like what exactly you should do instead of it, I can't say exactly. You know, I don't live there. It's not like. But like the problem is that your big problem is that the fake news, the internet, the absolute calamity that is going on in journalism in America right now, the disinformation, the malicious foreign actors that are also participating in destroying people's trust and people's participation. There's a lot of factors, obviously, right? But the problem is that when you elevate people and elevate the verbiage, the language of people who say that all the people are the same and we are fighting against the corrupt elites, against the donor class, against the consultants, against all of that populist shit, right? And you just brought that problem that people already have of not seeing that those parties are not the same, not even remotely the same. And it's not that Democrats are perfect, but in comparison to fucking MAGA, they might as well be. But it's just
say those things because they're not.
But how do you stop them from saying that? That's quite literally populism. That's how people engage in populism in your country. That's how people call themselves populism engage with it.
Well, this is why I tried to give some examples of people who I thought were doing this in a good way.
Yeah, but how do you make lots more doing it than the ladies? Sorry, Crystal Ball. But like, how do we make her not do that? She is popular.
You can't force her to stop doing what she wants to do. There's nothing you can stop her from doing what she wants to do.
Like, what? They're not doing it the way you're saying. No, they're not doing it by criticizing.
They're not also the examples that I'm holding up as like good examples.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think there's a conflation there in people's mind when you say, listen, this is my definition of populism, and like, this is how I see it could be used for the forces of good, basically, right? This is how I see it could be used practically and to make things better. But like, how do your audience, for example, listening to you, then they go, oh, let me check out that fucking populism, and then they check it out, and it's crystal ball. So, what the...
Well, I don't think that that's be the goal to
I mean, it's a little bit comedic, but I'm not saying that like your fans are fans of Crystal Ball, obviously, right? But a cursed woman, Jesus Christ. But the point is,
I can see the audience overlap in my YouTube studio. I think
how do you like not? If you're like, I understand that what you're saying is not the same as what she's saying. You know, I'm not saying that obviously it's not the same. But so you have different aims, though. Your aim is to use that to make Democrats a little stronger. And her goal is the opposite of that.
Sure, right. But that's define populism is not like an ideology in the sense of like liberalism or socialism or nationalism.
That's true. I agree with you on that. It's not a political ideology exactly, but it's just that how do we differentiate those two things? If we're using your like definition, so not to argue about definitions, right? If we're like, okay, fine, Ryan has his own vision and he thinks that will work. So how do you then separate those two things when the people who call themselves populist in your country are doing what I'm saying populism is? So
I think that we can call them what they are ideologically. So in many cases they're socialists. In many cases they are something close to a kind of neo-fascist ideology, I think. And I think that is why they're bad. That is the defining characteristic of why they're bad. And so I think we should call them on that basis. We should call them, communists, Marxist-Leninists, fascists. I think that's why they're bad. So that's what I would criticize them for.
yeah, certainly would agree that's why they're bad, but I also think that populism is quite literally a prerequisite for fascist and communist movements. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, I think it's a prerequisite for it's sort of incredible whenever people, sorry, that sounds too mean, but whenever people talk about the American Revolution not being populist, I mean, I think it's just, it seems to me that whenever you learn about that period, whenever you see like John Adams, who, by the way, was not a populist at all, you know, he, there was a very funny moment actually in that debate with Litterbox where he brought this up and talked about like John Adams' opinion on populism. But anyway, but he also said, you know, without the pen of Thomas Paine, the sword of Washington would have been raised in vain, right? And Thomas Paine, the great pamphleteer of the American Revolution, was an unadulterated populist. I mean, calling your pamphlet to start a revolution common sense, and then talking about how in the sight of God, one honest man is worth more than all.
None of this is populism to me. Like I don't want to bug down on definitions again. I understand, like, you know, we're not gonna budge on that. I'm not gonna budge either. But it's just
common sense. The pamphlet, the populist work.
No, I would not. I mean, anyway, dude, it's not gonna move anywhere, so let's not do that. We don't want to.
I think I would encourage people to really read that and think about whether or not it's popular. I think it's.
I know that my populism, the way I see things, is very much instructed by how populism was used in almost my part of the world. So I will obviously admit that. So I'm more educated on that, on the historical events and the revolutions and all that business that happened here. And also,
Welcome to the channel.
I acknowledge that your perspective is obviously more informed by the Western type of stuff. So yeah, what pops in my mind is probably not the same that pops in your mind. So you know, I don't think we should.
I think any definition of populism that doesn't include Thomas Paine's common sense is a pretty impoverished definition of populism. So I would say.
Well, yeah, well, yours includes fucking everything, so I don't know.
It includes, it's very specific. It includes what Mr. Rudin said about political movements that aim to represent the interests of the common people against the interests of the corrupt elite. I think that's exactly what common sense did, and I think that's why it's populism.
Well, I want to make sure about everything.
Yeah, let's not. It's gonna be definition point.
I'm curious though, if we agree that liberalism has this problem, where it doesn't feel interesting, it feels.
I just saw the thought of traders of things. You keep saying that common sense was populism, but it wasn't about like the elite against like the common man, right? Absolutely was. Thomas Paine, Adam Paine, these were like elitely educated people. They were well educated. They were in the high specialties. My guess is he could write well under the pamphlet. I'm sure that are there. Was he not a common man, a common farmer, or whatever?
I mean, among the founders, yeah, he was pretty common.
Okay, when you say among the founders, I mean like in general, compared to the average colonist, would Thomas Paine have been considered like just a
No, he wrote a very successful pamphlet, but before that, he was a total failure. Everything he did in life, he came to the colonies because he was poor and a failure and got fired from like everything.
So you got to go to the colonies. Well, stop. I'm not trying to make this a different the reason why it doesn't seem like a populist thing as much is because it sounds like whatever definition that you're crafting here is essentially making it so that any kind of uprising against any kind of thing can be a populist thing. Whereas when I look at the American Revolution, that was not like what. Okay,
It's only if you're claiming to represent the interests of the common person against the interests of everyone. It does, but then
sure, but it wasn't the common person.
So for instance, like
on the American Revolution, that wasn't the common person against a corrupt elite. That was the colonists in North America against like the English crown.
I think that is exactly how they understood it. That is exactly how they understood it.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure. Wait. I'm not trying to make this a dog battle. Sorry. I guess my issue is that like I'm looking at like a particular political situation, and hold on. The crown was not necessarily like corrupt, right? Like technically. basically, these colonies existed as colonies of England, right? Like, if the king wants to tax you some amount, you have no say in it, right? He's the fucking king, and that's how he wanted to. I guess that's how they treated colonies at the time. The revolution was against like that political thing, like that idea of a monarchy versus we wanted more
You're right.
republic.
It was against the tyranny of the monarchy and against the system
Sure.
of being.
You know what I'm saying? It was against like a particular form of government. Like it happened to be popular because we gravitated towards like a republic or a democracy afterwards, of course. But I guess it didn't look that way, like just like corrupt. Or do you recognize, or do you think, do you agree with me? I should say recognize because maybe you disagree. Do you agree with me that like revolting against like a monarchy because you want a democracy, that the monarchy is a thing, that it's not just like a popular appeal against like a corrupt elite, or is that like in your mind is it the same thing?
I think that is how they understood it at the time. That the monarchy was.
We have the same right now.
And not even just like the monarchy. It was the monarchy, but it was also the fact that the monarchy. So I mean, corruption was absolutely part of the situation. But I don't want to get into the historical rundown of the American Revolution because I probably, you know, I just don't think it's going to be super productive. But I do think that corruption and specifically the fact that the crown would do things like they would suspend the local governments in the colonies and they would bring in their other people who were, you know, not loyal to the people on the ground. They were loyal to the crown. They made money for the interests of the crown. I think I would read through Common Sense, and I would read through some of the grievances in the Declaration of Independence. I mean,
Sure.
I think that is exactly how they understood it.
But did the average British citizen, I guess, vibe with the American citizens and wanted to all go join the Americans, or did they also like try to revolt against the crown after, like immediately after the Revolutionary War or whatever, or? Well, because it felt like the colonists versus the crown, and they wanted to basically revolt and break away and create their own state.
Right, but why did they want to do that? Was it just a philosophical commitment to the ideal of like a republic?
Well, I mean, there's going to be some philosophical commitment to democracy, but it probably boils down to like a material enriching that, like, getting screwed over by the crown, literally. Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, these things probably run a town.
The work that famously turned the average American colonist in favor of a war for independence, because at this time it was still an open question whether or not there could be like reconciliation with the mother country. The work that famously turned the average American against the idea of reconciliation was Common Sense, and it explicitly frames things as like the oppressed colonist who's having their rights and money and dignity stripped away by the crown and the mother country, and he frames it as a corrupt and ridiculous state of affairs that has to be ended. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're talking about ending absolute monarchy and change it to something completely new.
Bluetooth connected.
Why did they want to do that? They wanted to get rid of the monarchy because
Faction monarchy. That's not populism.
right, but
Okay, we're gonna do this.
the reason they wanted to get rid of the monarchy, and Thomas Paine's Rights of Man, his later book, where he was responding to Edmund Burke's work on the French Revolution, explains this a little better, actually. But
Wait, do you consider French Revolution populist?
do I consider? Well,
French Revolution, yeah.
it was a long period of time. There were populist moments and decidedly not populist moments in the French Revolution. It was
Broadly, like, not that it had some elements that you can qualify as appeals to the common man, because pretty much every revolution would have appeals to the common man. But because you want to energize the fucking common man to do the revolution.
I would say in 1789, that was a pretty. I would say the period between 1789 and I think until the Thermidorian reaction, it was a pretty populist movement, and then there were spurts, fits and starts of populism between the Thermidorian reaction and the end of the Napoleonic Wars.
Okay, I think I see the problem now. that it's just that why we disagree pretty much. I don't think it's like salvageable, because in your mind, basically, if you have the people who present themselves as representing the common people against the current sort of like elite power institutions, right? Then that's populism, basically, and just it's just not. It can, in my opinion, it can have an element of populist rhetoric, for sure.
That's what I've been saying the whole time, right? That populism, the element.
But I just don't agree with it, and there's nothing we can do about it. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for the
that's sort of how I expected it to go. But yeah, I mean, I would encourage people to read Common Sense. Tell me whether or not you think that is a document that is aiming to represent the interests of the common people against a corrupt elite. I think it pretty obviously is.
Do you think that if the crown had been, I guess in your sense, corrupt, but just operated within all the boundaries, or how are you defining corrupt here? Like as a monarchy, do you think that they'd be okay with it, or?
Yes, I do. I think if the crown had not behaved so poorly towards the colonists, there would not have been the revolution. Yeah, and we can see that based on the fact that there was no revolution in.
But always how revolution happen, though. They don't happen when people are satisfied with the order they have. So Maidan Revolution, for example, in my country, was not fucking populism at all, but it sure was popular. So those are two different things. We were fighting against the government and the regime and their attempt to make the country authoritarian, but we're not fighting against the corrupt elites. We're not fighting against the particular the government in itself was not ever presented as the domain of the corrupt elites who are oppressing the common people, and the common people need to rise up against them.
Yeah, and I think that's a good example of the difference between any sort of revolt or revolution or popular movement and populism. I mean, so I'm certainly not going to sit here and lecture you on your own country. It sounds like that was not an important component, and I take your word for it.
I will say that people did speak about corruption quite a bit, because obviously we are post-Soviet, poor as fuck country, so the corruption is a big problem. And people talked about corruption back then, and they still speak about it quite a bit. And it's something that everyone cares about and cared about back then. But the problem is that there is one thing to speak about corruption in general, right? And there is a completely different spin would be if all the elites are corrupt and the ruling class is corrupt, and we need to scratch that shit and, change it and destroy the institutions because they're corrupt and they're not working for our benefit. That was not how it was ever presented. Okay. So I would say that's not, would you agree that that's not populist then? In nature, even if there are appeals to the people.
Absolutely. If that's the way that it was, then of course.
I feel like we've hit philosophical. I feel like we've hit philosophical bedrock. I think we're circling the drain on it.
Yeah, I also think so. Yeah, I don't want to be.
If you wish to preserve your native country uncontaminated by European corruption, you must in secret wish a separation. That's like the kind of language that Thomas Paine talks in Common Sense, talking about the bribery, corruption, and favoritism of the crown, taking a tenth of your.
That's what I put through Maidan's example for you.
Okay, we're never agreeing on this. We're never agreeing on this. We're circling the drain. This so hard. Okay, we're good.
Fine. I'm sorry. I don't want to be poor. But still, thank you. I appreciate the conversation. I think I understand what do you mean exactly, and I will be less pissed off from now on.
Okay, well, good talking.
Yeah, that's a bonus, I think. That's a plus. Yeah. Anyways, I shall go then, I guess.
Be careful. Stay safe.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Well, Stephen, I don't want to sit here and bogart the stream time.
Bogart away.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else from the video that you had questions on?
I think one of the broad things I said, I don't know if we talked about this or if this is what I was talking about before you hopped in, is sometimes it feels like there are certain things in society that have significantly changed us that don't play into a political side very well, meaning
Okay.
like nobody can weaponize the issue for like a political end. And one of those huge things that I point to a lot, and a lot of people kind of agree, is like the internet. It has dramatically changed like so much of how American life is. And then as a result of that, we try to, sometimes I think we're looking to get things out of other things because something is missing, but we can't quite articulate what that thing is. So in a broad sense, I would say like looking for meaning from our political ideology, like liberalism. And then maybe in a narrower sense, I could give an example of like, I'm sure if you follow any politics, you've heard of like the insufficiency of Ken Martin at the DNC or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the first time in my human life I have ever heard that we need to be getting some kind of like big leadership from the DNC. I don't even know how many Americans even know what it is, but I feel like it's like the same type of problem where it's like something is failing, so people are kind of looking at like everything, and so like it must be the DNC is what's failing us. It must be Ken Martin. It's like, well, is it really? And then that's kind of how I feel like the liberalism type thing, right? Yeah.
I think personally, that the DNC Ken Martin stuff is a lot of DNC insider baseball that's playing out in the public realm. There was a lot of bad blood from that DNC race, like who ended up getting the spot. Like the Pod Save guys were super boosters for Wickler.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And so some of the stuff with Ken Martin, I think, is a whole load of DNC insider baseball that's playing out in the public domain. So I agree with you. The DNC chair has never been really anything more than a figurehead or maybe chief fundraiser is probably what their job description is, in the modern era anyway. So yeah, I agree with you there. I do think that there's a little more credibility to the attacks on congressional leadership for not doing a good enough job being leaders. That has been a role that congressional leadership has taken in the past. So I think that kind of criticism has a little bit more legitimacy. I mean, famously on the Republican side, Newt Gingrich was like defining the Republican Party for his generation.
Sure.
So I think there's a little bit of criticism there that's valid.
But there might be. I think that.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you. I'm like a broken record when I argue this stuff, so I don't know how much you've heard it, so I don't want to drone on too much. But like, I guess to reiterate, I feel like one of my big things that I fixated on is kind of this. How much the Republican establishment is kind of aligned on objectives. And so there are things that the Republican establishment does really well that the liberal establishment doesn't do well. So we end up looking at things like, what is our message? How did we talk about this issue? Like, did we signal on this thing correctly? When the reality is the Republicans kind of think about that, but the most important thing they have is like the messaging apparatus, right? That if I were to go...
Can I complicate this a little bit?
Yeah, go.
I think one of the things that the Republicans have that Democrats don't have is a sense of like conservatism. I think that there is like a whole apparatus of people who are like into conservatism, and obviously that's affiliated with the Republican Party, but it's like ultimately like an ideology that is sort of apart from, it's like it's not an appendage of the Republican Party. They see conservatism as the ideology that like should be controlling the Republican Party, not the other way around.
I think I would.
And I think,
or you finish if you want. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just think on the Democratic side, it's hard for me to. There's very few groups, think tanks, whatever you want to say, that are out there talking about like liberalism as an ideology that not concerned necessarily with electoral politics, just talking about making the best case possible for the ideology. Whereas on the right, you have like the Heritage Foundation that makes a very clear ideological case for their brand of conservatism. And they are not so concerned about like just the electoral politics of it all. That's not what they see their role as. But electoral politics, I think, has really swallowed a lot of the kind of infrastructure behind the Democratic Party in a way that I think is unhelpful for the vitality of liberalism as an ideology.
Sure. So I can agree in part and disagree in part. I do agree that they have these things that are operating in such a way that where they don't just see themselves concerned about kind of with ideology, or I'm sorry, not with ideology. I'm sorry, with like political, I guess like voting or whatever. But I think that the reason why it's so effective over there is because it is all connected. So, for instance,
it's connected for sure.
But the important part,
people that go and work in the.
But the only reason why it works is because it's connected. If it wasn't connected, nobody would know. Yeah. The only reason why we care about the Federalist Society or the Heritage Foundation, or whatever, is because Project 2025 is real, and that's where all the justice the judge picks come from for the Republican side.
Absolutely,
so they have these ways of kind of like establishing. Of connecting all these different parts that are working very effectively, but they all work like a single organ system or whatever, like a body. Whereas on the Democratic side, everything is far more discreetly done, and sometimes, well, not sometimes, almost always are in like active hostility with one another.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that, and I think that's an important thing to point out, that they're connected in that way. I think one thing that's important to note is that, like, the Republican staffers that come up through these things, like the Claremont Institute or whatever else, you know, they see it as like important for the future, I guess, leaders of the Republican Party to have the proper schooling in the conservative ideology. And that's something that they take very seriously. And I don't think that that's something that liberals take very seriously. I think liberals don't have a very good sense of themselves.
Sure. So I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm going to feed it back exactly into what I was saying before. And that the reason why liberals don't have that is because we don't connect all of our infrastructure around. So
but why don't we do that is what I'm saying. Like I would contend that the reason we don't do that is because for a long time liberals didn't think that ideology was very important. They didn't think that that was an important part of politics.
I understand what you're saying. I guess this is such a macro, multi-discipline argument. I mean, obviously, you have your idea. I'm like, I'll give my opinion, but I'm not any more confident necessarily in mine. But like, I would say it was because there was a good trick that was played, obviously on the media side of things, when I focus on media, that Republicans saw the media that existed in the United States, and they made this decision for all of America that the media is the left wing, and we're going to make our media that's the right wing. When in reality, the media was just people trying to do media, generally with some partisanship. But now, after doing that, now you have like CNN, MSNBC, all these people are, and the New York Times, Washington Post, these are all cast as like left-wing media, while Fox News is right-wing media. And then the average American sees these two things as equally partisan, not realizing that the entire right-wing media apparatus is all working in sync with the Republican Party, such that even if we go down to fundamental things like, think about like college kids. College kids are oftentimes very at end with the Democratic Party because they're more radical to the left. But then if you look at like, imagine like Turning Point USA, this might as well have been an arm of the official Republican Party, right? Like it, And so I think that Republicans have this, now that they've figured this out, they have this top down, and I think I would argue the MLs, the Tankies, the far left, the DSA types, they figured this out as well, where you have this top down structure, and the center left people still see themselves as objective, and as long as they see themselves as objective and not trying to be part of like a political or political activist movement, they will always be behind
Even you're speaking my language. This is my whole deal. So I'm totally with you on this. This is my whole deal. So I very much agree with you on this.
Yeah, I don't know then, but the problem then is that like, so if I have conversations with really large people that I think everybody in the United States consider on the left, they will say what I just said. They'll say, well, I don't see myself as an activist. I see myself as a journalist. I see myself as a video essayist. I don't think it's my job to work for the Democratic Party, which I respect. And in a well-functioning environment, I think your job is essential. That should be the case. But in a media environment where everybody who's on the right sees themselves as an extension of the Republican Party, and 90% of people on the left see themselves as like trying to be objective journalists, that system is like fundamentally flawed because it always favors the right-wing messaging there because they're not even trying to be honest, you know?
Yeah, well, I think, I agree that people shouldn't just, I think that the pretense that a lot of people have about being like journalists or objective reporters that can be like outside of the political process, I agree. I mean, I don't see myself, someone asked me the other day, you know, how I think about my role in the space, like, do I consider myself a journalist? And I said no, because I don't do any original reporting. I do like analysis, you know, like I'm not out there making calls trying to uncover like Watergate, like Woodward and Bernstein. I'm a political commentator. I think I was quoted in an article one time as a political analyst, and that's maybe as far as I would go.
Sure.
I think, but I see my role. I see my sort of mission with my platform is trying to advance a more well thought out ideological form of liberalism. I mean,
Sure.
I see that as my role, and I sort of welcome people that are willing to engage and disagree with my worldview on it, as long as we agree that it's important for liberalism to have an ideology, that it can't just be like the background radiation of politics that no one has to pay attention to. Because if everyone just agreed with my sort of idea of what liberalism is, I think we'd get to the same point that we're at now, in my view, where liberalism is viewed as this kind of stale thing with no motion and no blood and no energy. So it's good to talk to people on the kind of liberal side of things that disagree with my worldview for liberalism. I'm happy to do it, as long. But I think the crucial thing is, like what you said, recognizing that liberalism is not just. You have to actually fight for it. To, I guess, paraphrase what you said. I don't remember exactly what it is that you said.
You need to actively defend.
Yeah.
This is a big issue when I debated like all the anti-woke people back in 2016 and onwards, was that like people would talk about like consent around the Me Too era, or like affirmative action, and then that became DEI or wokeism in general. And then when somebody would ask, sometimes people would get really fundamental to these questions, like, well, women and men aren't the same. Women, don't get drafted. Why should they have the right to vote? I started to realize very quickly, like, nobody actually had any answer to any of these questions. Nobody actually knew. I don't know why. Should the races and women have equal rights? And like, should we even allow everybody to vote the same? Like nobody seemed to know the answer to any of these questions, which was kind of scary.
John Stuart Mill. This is an old problem. John Stuart Mill, in his famous book On Liberty, which lots of people who were in college might have had to read part of that. He talks about this idea of dead dogma. Whenever something becomes so accepted that you no longer think that it's important, you don't have to argue for it anymore, and you don't get inoculated against like basically the bad ideas, because you never have to contend with them. I think that's kind of what happened with liberalism in the period of like the end of the Cold War to now, now in a broad sense, maybe till 2016, where the basic tenets of liberal democracy were basically accepted, and we just didn't know how. We lost the ability to contend with ideas like communism or ethno-nationalism, because they were not active participants in American politics at the time.
Sure.
The whole game was talking about policy, how to make the marginal policy improvements from where we are now. That's very important. I mean, that's obviously very important work. That's where the real bread and butter of politics. That's where things actually get done. But whenever there's not a broad agreement on those fundamental principles, someone has to be arguing for the principles, and that's, I guess, what I'm trying to do on my YouTube channel. Not always in a way that everyone agrees with, but doing my what I think is best.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think those should absolutely be done. Yeah, I guess I would argue there are bigger like forces right now that are preventing, I would say, like the best faith engagement with that from happening, which I think is where a lot of or at least for me, that's where a lot of my populist hatred comes from. So like an example of this might be, and I've said this before, like my main contention, and I'm not trying to drag you into the fucking internet war streaming and this on. I don't.
Please don't.
Yeah, don't need to.
Let me tell you, man. Yeah. Anytime and I'm looking forward to it after this. Anytime I talk to you, I get emails.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's all part of the strategy. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's how they function. Yeah.
Anyway, so
so what I'm saying is that like if somebody wanted to come to me and somebody was like, I am a socialist, I think we should abolish all capital. I don't like. Yeah. I think that there's like fundamental flaws with the natural tension between whatever. Then I would fiercely disagree with this person. But let's have a debate. Fuck it. I think I could defend a liberal capitalist really well. I don't think most capitalists could. My issue right now politically is because and we don't have to get into the populist thing. I'm not asking you to agree with me, but I'm saying from my perspective, the reason why I have an issue with a lot of the populist framing is because I would argue, it lets them set things up as like an us versus them. It gets them past the policy arguments, and then it makes it so that they can start to make a bunch of arguments that I would argue aren't being made in good faith. So like a big example of this would be somebody like, I'll just make up a person and call them Masan, would say something like, oh, like, I just want people to have affordable healthcare. And it's like, well, that's not, most of the Democrats already believe that. There's a lot of liberals that believe this, but they want to get past the policy argument and just argue for their figures, but then we don't actually have any of the, like, the mode of economic production argument or anything like that. And it's that, but because of their political project, and then again, I'm not asking you to accept this, I'm just saying from my perspective, because they are populist, they see themselves as like, because this is such an us versus them thing, we can start to use what some people might consider less than slavery forms of argumentation to further our things, even if that means misrepresenting our point of view, misrepresenting our politics or whatever else. And then that's like the huge hang up that I'm in. If we were having a massive debate right now in the United States over like, should we become socialist versus should we remain capitalist, whatever, I think that would be a fascinating conversation. And like, I'm not one to push back on a society and say, this is evil for us to move in this direction. If it truly is what most people want, assuming you don't have like slavery or some, fundamental like, use Kogans or Malaman say horrible thing like that. But when the conversation is being misrepresented, then it almost doesn't matter to me what the policy thing is or what the ideology is. I would say, well, this is not good. I think that this type of like lying is not like a part of what I would ever want in any political system.
I think what I would say is that liberals have not had to contend with those kinds of ideologies we're stuck in the mind prison. We're stuck in the mind prison that the most important thing that someone like
Battery low.
Important thing that someone can believe is like their specific policy views.
Sure.
Like that is not the most important thing about someone like J.D. Vance. His specific policy views are not the most important thing about his ideology. It's not the most important thing about the Marxist-Leninists on the DSA National Political Committee or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. That's not the most important thing about them is not their opinion on whether or not the Senate should exist or whatever. That's not the most important thing about them. But we've been stuck in the mind prison of like never having to engage with ideologies and ideas for so long that I think a lot of liberals just don't have the practice or the ability or even maybe the ability to even recognize that that's like an important part of what they should be doing is like pushing back on the ideas. So, I mean, I think what I'm trying to do is just encourage people to do that a little more. But yeah, I mean, I agree that
it reminds me of the that fucking government show. Fuck that, I never watched it. Not House of Cards. Oh my god, the other one that everybody talks about. That's like from the 90s. Yeah, the West Wing or whatever, where they show the guys the fucking Constitution and they're like, oh, they found problems in it and they don't know if it's a good enough Constitution. And then the guy tries to express like, well, it's not really about like the particular form of government, or it's not about the particular rules. It's like imbuing on people some broad idea of what it means to have a system like this, and like that's the really important thing that people need to take away from it more than any particular rule or whatever.
That's straight out of Enlightenment philosophy. Rousseau talks about how the most important law is not written on any piece of paper. It is written in the hearts of the citizens, and that is basically to mean that if people don't, in their hearts, support the ideals that underpin a government, the government will eventually fail. So if we don't have people out there making arguments for the fundamentals of liberalism and taking seriously what those ideals mean for politics, then I think liberalism is at a dead end.
Sure. And it should be, right? Because the people, it's literally a government, buying for the people, and if the people no longer buy with it for whatever reason.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah. I love you. Be careful. Stay safe.
Everyone go watch the video. Okay. Bye.
Peace.
That guy, right?
Sometimes the call turns into like a fucking, like a Thunderdome. Just gotta take deep breaths and be chill.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't stream today, right? It's Saturday anyway, right?
It's Saturday, I'm eating a dumpling now.
Ooh, what kind of dumpling?
It's fine. I don't know, some frozen Costco dumpling.
So?
The Advent Wars. Begun they have.
Oh yeah. What was your solution to that?
God, I don't remember now. Hold on 1 second, I got a team fight real quick. Good team fight. I don't know. I don't think that there's like a catch-all solution. I think you're probably just gonna have to give people certain inalienable rights that they'll have to use. Like I think Darius has earned it.
Jesus.
Parsek's done the emote slots for a long time. I don't know.
I feel like that standard is gonna like lead to fucking unrelenting ass pain though.
You know, impossible.
If you have there aren't like different what about like different embed chats like per embed? Is that impossible? Is that just like a tech thing? Would that be a bad idea or
I could bring offline chat back.
Wow, Robbie Two Gloves. Thanks for the 10 tier 1 subs, buddy. I love you. So you would just give them to people that you feel have been long enough.
That's what I do.
So
or they can pay you.
I thought about, but this feels
Sure.
like just like auctioning them off, basically, being like, listen, this slot, a lot of people want it, so we're selling it for this amount. Whoever wants to fucking. Do you think it should be like 24/7? Like there should always be some push to embed, or and should it ever be movie chats and stuff, or?
I mean, I like movie chats on the weekend, but hold on, I just got a sick hook actually. Oh my god, so hot. I don't know.
Where's Persec at? Did you go over Jessica supposed to get arrested at the end? Stop with these stupid fucking names. It's not even unless I've seen a lot of these retarded shit. Like, oh, it's gonna get arrested because he like tweets out some retarded shit. Unless there's like actual proof of this, shut the fuck up. Fuck. Is Jessica not here?
You mean Parsec? He's here. He said he's here.
Wait, what did I just say? Did I say Gisticsec? What the fuck?
I said just tickle.
Oh.
He's here now. What?
Polls. Oh, there you go. Okay, well, what do you think we should do? Person who definitely doesn't have a biased interest.
Well, here's the thing, is I've been telling everybody that this was a conversation that you were having kind of offline. And I was telling them, hey, you guys should just wait for Destiny to say something about it. So that's what I said yesterday, and also the day before that. And now you're dragging me on stream saying, hey man, what should we do about it?
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. Stop. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't know that this was so hard to understand. My bad. I'm not saying that you are going to be the sole determining thing and that we're doing. I'm trying to get feedback because it's legitimately, there's a lot of different people who are like in contention or different groups that are in contention of like how it should be. So I'm just curious what your ideas are. You're not the final deciding voice on it. I was just curious what you thought about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you have a question about offline chat, I can answer that question about offline chat, but I'm not going to be able to like just give you a solution because it's not really going to be up to me. Whenever it comes to like offline chat though, my input is that like the people who are in your chat right now are definitely like majority, not even the people who are in your offline chat for the most part. And honestly, like the people who are talking right now in your chat are not the people who really care. I think that the people don't know what they want, to be quite honest. People never really know what they want. People always say, hey, I want this, but then they'll just complain about that anyway. I think that people should watch whatever the fuck they want to watch. And
well, so the issue is not watching stuff. The issue is like
yeah.
who's allowed to like hijack DGG chat, basically, right? That's like the big.
Who's allowed to read DGG chat,
which means hijacking it for the stream, right?
Yeah, sure, but like there's people who technically hijack DGG chat unintentionally. Like when Darius streams, DGG chat is hijacked, even if he isn't going to read it.
Sure, but that's a way. Well, wait. What do you mean when you say hijacked?
When I
If Darius
When I
is
say
live
hijacked,
and you are
I mean
not
the
live,
whole-
Darius is top embed.
No,
Sorry,
That is
he
what
asked
it
me.
is.
When
Sorry,
I say
yes.
I'm sorry, when I'm thinking of hijacked, I'm thinking of like the streamer is reading and responding to that chat, and people are typing in that chat with the goal of like the streamer saying. But I understand what you're saying. Like XQC,
What-
you would argue
yeah.
sometimes like hijacks chat, even though he's not like reading.
That
it,
is what I'm
right?
saying.
Okay.
Yes, like
Right,
the chat will talk about just that and just hijack.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, is that there's like a specific group of people, there's probably like 10 or 20 people total that are extremely fucking loud about not wanting like any embeds at night or not wanting anything happening at all in DGG chat after hours whenever you're not live. But the reality is that anytime that Darius goes live, people watch Darius. Anytime that I go live, people watch me. Anytime that there's anything fucking happening anywhere, there's always going to be people watching this shit. When there's movies, people watch movies. But like the thing is that there's like a small group of people that are incredibly fucking loud about offline chat and wanting like to purify it or keep the sanctity of offline chat. And I understand it, but at that point, like this isn't the place for that, I don't think, anymore.
I kind of agree here. I think that like you should let the people watch what they want. I guess the issue comes down into like, should they be able to read DGG chat? I think the people who want like the old days of offline chat where there's like 3 of them hanging out and talking to each other, they should just go to Discord.
Damn.
I have an idea. Technical idea. Tell us, Dan. We're very interested in hearing it.
We're waiting for you to
we're
speak.
listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how about this as an idea? There's a new chat option, okay? And it's basically a setting where whatever embed you're watching, the chat, you could choose to just see the chat messages for that specific embed, okay? And then the idea, hold on, the idea would be that there is no more hosting. It is simply, hold on, you're not hearing, I understand this, that there's that specific function, but there isn't the one to segment it off. So the idea is that whatever is embedded as the first thing would be whichever one had the most viewers. So right now, the kick embed has the most viewers, so it would be the default. It would be the default thing that's when you go to the website, even if it's not /hosted, right?
I don't think you exactly want that though, because I think Steve should have some level of like curating who his community is
Well,
watching.
yeah, that you could be on a list. That's fine. So he has like a list of like if you're in one of these 20 channels, whoever's number one will be number one. But so if you come, I think the issue really stems from this. It's not like who can /host themselves. The problem is that
No one's talking about hosting. People are talking about who can read the chat while they stream.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have a different view. I think people are upset because there's movie streamers that get fucking unbelievably ass mad when the entire chat isn't forced to watch movies with them.
Like, no,
that
I
happens,
think
but
well that might happen, but I think what people are more mad at is for some people there's a huge divergence in the community actually between like movies and like stream things. But the issue is like if some people are allowed to read chat and respond to it, and then others aren't, and we enforce that like pretty brutally, people start to feel like there's like a double standard, and then they have a bad, that's just not having some consistent way by which we decide who's allowed to read and respond to chat while they're streaming. Is that's an issue that we haven't decided on.
I just feel like the chat segmentation and the default, the defaults change everything, right? Like the default activity for everyone until you click off, people adapt to that. That's really, that's all that matters. So if everyone knows that if you're on an embed, that the default experience is that other people won't see that chat unless you click into that embed itself, and that the main DGG chat, or not the main DGG chat, but like a second embed will have its own chat. I think that's a good solution, technical solution. Like this all stems, as I said, I've seen it for a long time. I don't know why you guys are acting like you don't do it. The case, people get upset because it's movie night. What the fuck? Go offline. It's like, bro, you can stream. You don't need me to go stream movies. Like you can stream a movie right now, but they get really upset because they want to force everyone to
Dan's
be
not understanding what's happening.
I don't think this is the issue at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of, in Dan's defense, it kind of is. I mean, there are definitely like movie chatters and like movies, like a large contention with the people who are embedded as streamers in DGG is that like when other things are going on, like people can stream over it. It is a little bit
well, yeah, but I feel like the
problem is like the big one of reading DGG.
I feel like the issue is that I could be wrong. So I'm not in these chats as much, but I feel like the issue is not so much that like movie chatters want everybody watching the movie. It's that the people that aren't watching the movie want to talk about something different. So then what happens is they start getting mad at the movie chatters, and then the movie chatters, in response
No.
to that, tell them you should just watch
That
the movie,
doesn't
whatever.
happen.
You don't think that's
Nobody gets mad at the movie chatters at all. It is genuinely the movie streamers and the chatters who absolutely get ass mad that their thing is not the priority. That is how it works.
It should just be dynamic. Literally, like whatever's the main content should be. I mean, you can have things that are whitelisted.
Parsec, I can hear Dan through your fucking mic, man.
There can be like a whitelisted thing, because obviously you don't want people to come to GGG and it's just like some fucking kick booty stream, right? So there can be a whitelisted set of streamers that go in there, and that's something you can discuss who gets in there, who doesn't. But I just think it should be dynamic. Like whatever has the most viewers when people come to DGG, that should be what people are watching, and like that's it. And there is no more what the fuck, it's movie night, why are you streaming? It's like, go watch your movies. Second tab right there, click in, no one's stopping you. And then their chat doesn't harass. Hold on, their chat isn't harassing the person in the first slot, and the person in the first slot isn't harassing the one in the second slot. The issue all stems from the fact that they don't want anyone else watching anything. They want all of chat to watch the same thing. That's literally it.
Okay, well, here's the thing then. I don't want to be hosted, because I want people to like watch whatever the hell that is that they want to watch. If Darius is live and I'm live at the same time, and Darius is doing better content or he's doing something that's more interesting, that's cool. And then if you go live and you self-host, then I mean you're kind of taking away the choice. And I understand that was like a little bit of like a troll, which was funny.
See what you're saying there is actually the point, right?
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. If we go live, we don't need to self-host.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying here. Is like the hosting thing doesn't matter. But you're upset. You're like, Dan, if you go live, it's gonna kill the movie stream, and then the movie streamers will lose their shit. Why?
Well, the movie
Why
streamers
will
are
they?
the ones that get upset. I don't get
Why?
upset.
Yeah, but why would they get upset?
Because they just don't have like the unilateral control over the chat. Everyone watching movies at the exact same time.
Yeah, well, yes, right? The reason that movie streamers get so fucking upset when Darius goes live during movie night or whatever is because now the entire chat is not forced to watch the movie. That's it. It all comes down to that. I don't know. Like, yeah.
I get. Is it really that they're not forced to watch a movie, or does it have more to do with that? Like there are other chatters then that disrupt the movie chatters watching the movie.
It would be the second what you just said.
Okay.
I assume that is why movie chatters get upset. Yes.
Well, I thought this option already existed to just only have the chat for that, but they still get a complaint.
Is that an option that exists?
There's an eye icon that you can click, and then I guess it'll just go for the chat for that movie. I don't know. That's what people are saying, chat.
Yeah, highlight messages from users watching the same stream.
No. It can't be. You can't have people in the same chat room, like just ignoring half the chat. That's always like a fucking nightmare.
Well, the idea is that you could add a new setting to the chat, and I don't think this would be very difficult. But basically, there would be a new setting, and it's like either show all chat or only show people watching my chat, and it would hide all messages unless they're in your embed that watching the same one as you, and that solves the issue, I think.
Well, but you don't ever want a chat room where people are typing at each other, not even sure if people are seeing the same messages, right?
Well, that's why the default can be for everything off.
Why you can't? It's not. You don't ever want it. I don't know why you're saying the default. You don't ever want this to be a behavior that anybody can choose or participate in. It's not about it being the default.
Then why do we have multiple embeds at the top? If that's the case, because that's always going to happen then, right? So it's just people are going to spam chat.
No. What I'm saying is you don't ever want a chat room where some people are typing messages, not even knowing if other people are seeing them or not.
Shadow messages.
Well, the idea is that for each embed, right now we just show the name in the site that it's on. You could also show how many people are watching that. You could even do a user list if you want for each embed as well. Like that's.
I feel like at this point you would just create a separate chat. Like you would just have it branch off into different chats for each thing. I think it would make more sense.
I think that like the movie streamers, I think they have a place and everything, but I think it should be if we want it to be stringent that no one can stream over them, etc., then they can't also have like 10 hours a day on the weekends. They should have like 2 or 1 to 2 movies, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and then it's just the movie. And then everybody will know like, oh, we come in at the movie time.
Sure, then I guess the question is, can people ever agree on like a schedule for that in time zones and stuff? Or is that going to be like an...
Okay, I'll throw a nuke in there. Fuck it. Okay,
yeah, go.
I'm throwing the nuke down. The nuke down. Here's the nuke. Here's the question. This is the question people want answered. Why is it that I'm allowed to interact with DGG chat in this instance, but then someone like DRT0 is not? This is the question. This is like what people want the answer to.
Well, this is what we're trying to figure out right now, right? The answer I got earlier is it seemed like
What
some
is the
people
answer to
just
this
had like special permissions, but I don't think that's very satisfying. I think that would only lead to intense ass pain. So I think that probably shouldn't be the standard. Right?
Bing, what are your thoughts?
You say Bing or Dan?
Bing.
That's why. Oh,
Damn.
Well, as I understand,
Oh, I thought you
there's
said Bing, my
revenue
bad.
tied to this, so I'm not the final arbiter here.
Nobody, why do you,
I don't know, man.
why do they keep saying that? Mootin?
Dude, it's just
Why
about
are they doing
giving
that?
Your take.
Sorry,
I
I'm
know
just
one's
kidding. It's okay,
asking
it's
you to
okay.
make the whole
No, it's okay. Stop.
decision.
Don't get mad. Stop. Okay. Stop. Moot. Well, you're freaking out for no reason.
I don't really give a shit if everyone talks to fucking DGG chat personally. I don't know why it even
Okay.
fucking matters. I feel like it's a.
What do you mean why it doesn't matter? Because it boosts the engagement on their stream a ton.
Yes.
Oh, so we want that to be
Wait,
the case,
actually,
then.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't anymore. I've thought this through actually. If you let people talk to DGG chat, people will talk to DGG chat. Like, no one will come to the kick stream.
Okay,
The whole
but
point of
gives you
like, not
jumping off
interacting with DGG. Wait. The whole point of like telling people, hey, you're not going to interact with DGG chat. It doesn't really make any sense whenever you're trying to like control for engagement in another stream, because if they want to watch these people, then what they're going to do if they want to interact with the streamer is just go to their kick chat, like what Darius asks his chatters to do, because he can't interact with DGG chat, and then those people go into Darius's chat, and then he gets paid. So if you're trying to prevent this behavior, or like if you're trying to prevent this from happening, you will go to that person's kick chat if they can't interact with DGG.
Well, but why does
they get paid?
Why does Darius ask people to go to his kick chat?
Because he can't interact with DGG.
Well, but also probably because he wants to go. He wants to bring people over from DGG because they're natively chatting in DGG chat, right? So like I think that so I think that when you go into chat and you see a bunch of people chatting about a thing, like it makes you want to go and watch whatever thing is being chatted about, right? Like if I go into DGG chat and there's like a million people that are typing about XQC, I'm going to open the XQC embed. But if I were to go in, and there's a million people talking about Darius, I'd open Darius' stream. But if I go in and nobody's talking about it because they're all over in his kick chat, then
nobody's going to open it.
Why would I don't know people are talking about or watching, right? Maybe I could click the embeds and look, but like I'm not going to see all of that whatever hype is there, you know?
Okay, well, the idea is that like especially whenever it comes to kick streamers, your viewership is not the thing that gets you paid.
It's not about. I know. I understand. KCIP. Yep, you can spend that. Okay, that's not at all what I was asking. Yes. What I'm saying is that there's a reason why Darius is to tell people to go to his kick chat. The reason why is because natively people prefer to chat in DGG chat, and it's where I think that's where more people will see the chatter activity happening, and then they'll be interested in whatever's going on, and then they'll get picked up into that stream like that. That's what I'm saying. Or if you think that's not true at all, if you think
for engagement, then you're controlling for like where people are chatting, which isn't really engagement in the same way that like.
What do you mean they don't?
We talk about it, right?
They don't.
It's viewership more than it is engagement. My point is like if you want to control for the engagement, and if you want to prevent people from like making money off of the backs of DGG chat, the best way you can possibly do that is
no. This is not, none of this has
the chat.
No one's brought up the money thing.
No, we've been over this. It's a type of system. Darius going, I want you to join my chat for KPP is completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
he gets way fewer people from doing that than if he just had unfettered access. He gets way less revenue from doing that.
Yeah, and also it's like a secondary.
It serves as a filter system. People want to chat in DGG. They don't want to go to Darius's chat.
Yeah, and it's a secondary issue. Like we can think about the chat stuff past that point. Like that's like a later on thing. I think right now, do we agree or disagree with this? Maybe people disagree with this. Maybe I'm just a bad chatter. But like when I go into chat and I see 50 million people saying like epic, blah, 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 right? And I see that, I want to click on whatever the embed is because I want to know what people are watching. But if I go in and it was just silent because they were either siphoned off into some other side chat or they were all had to chat on like Kick or whatever, I just probably wouldn't be as interested. So like not having your chat back and forth there, why are people spamming fucking retarded emotes? What did I say?
It's because J Doctor said he's shutting down the chat in 30 seconds.
Okay, base. Yeah. Okay. Whatever I just said. I don't know. That made any sense.
I think you're making sense. Your argument is literally like the.
I'm not trying to just real quick. I'm not trying to argue for something. I'm saying that this is my impression that this is what average chatter behavior would be. If I'm wrong on that, maybe people actually don't give a fuck about who's chatting about it. Then in which case, then ignore what I'm saying. That's not relevant. But that would be my assumption.
I think people do care about what they're chatting about. This is a normal human behavior.
Like it would be a
When I go into DGG
major
chat, yes.
determinative factor. Like it'd be a huge
Yes.
thing. Like this is
It
the reason
what
why.
embed I go to.
Yeah, and this is the reason why people in the past, before we ever had any kind of embedding feature, like years ago, people would always chat with DGG chat, and we had to make rules for people to not do that, because when people would be chatting with the people in DGG chat, they would also watch the stream, and it would increase their viewers and all that.
Yes.
Is my impression. But if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
then...
no, you got it.
Okay. So then what do you
What's the problem with letting the free market choose what they want to watch?
Well, the problem is that if everybody's watching different streams and everybody's chatting about everything in in the past when multiple people have interacted with the DGG chat, it just turns chat into like a schizophrenic clusterfuck, and people seem to get really ass-pained about that.
So if Darius and Parsec are both streaming at the same time, it'll be annoying because like half a chat will be at Darius's and maybe like a half a chat will be at Parsec's, and it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen, to be honest. I think there's like a power law. I think it's like always going to be 90% towards the top number one
This
stream.
always happened in the past, and this was the sole reason why we had to make the rules that you weren't.
Jeez, all right, fine, all right. Sorry,
Well,
I
this
gave a
is-
fucking opinion.
Where is RTBA? My understanding is that this is literally where the you can't respond to chat rule came from. It literally originated from if people are responding to chat, it turns chat into a clusterfuck nightmare. That was my understanding. That's literally where that rule comes from. Otherwise, everybody could just respond to DG all the time, no?
No. Viewer does not open. No.
I mean, I don't even know if we had the fucking embed tabs back then. Like, it might may like.
Sure, even without embed tabs, though, that doesn't change anything, right? In terms of what I'm saying.
Sure. What does chat want? Like that's the big thing. What
Well, the
fuck does
problem is
chat
I
want?
legitimately think there's like a 40-40-20 split. So whatever decision is made is going. I don't know if there's like a compromise here. I think one group is just going to end up being
Someone's gonna get ass mad. Yeah.
severely ass-pained.
Well,
Yeah.
we do a vote. So what are the three? If you said there's 40-40-20, what are the three options in your mind?
Well, it would be everybody can, nobody can, or only certain people can.
Oh, yeah. When we say can, we mean respond to DGG chat.
Correct.
No, I need that on, Bjorn.
I can put that as a poll. We can see where we're landing right now.
Well, but the issue is that the people that are frequenting movies chats and then offline chat are not the same people that are going to be here right now while I'm live. So they might have significantly divergent opinions from the people that are most impacted from this.
We'll take a vote now and take one later when you're not online.
I do just want to say, I think DGG chat is like 10,000 times more active in the morning now than because of AE than it used to be. So I guess my thing there is like, yeah, there are some people who used to be in offline chat, etc., being fucked over. But I think more people like what's happening now, at least in the mornings. I don't watch the night streams because it's bedtime.
Yep, that's true. But then the only issue is, I don't know if you or Persic brought this up, is it's like a little tyranny of the majority thing, to where do we just have like the popular thing? Because if that was the case, then movie chat would have literally dominated everything a long time ago, because people want to watch movies.
Forever,
Like it got to the point to where I was getting ass pain because I would start streaming, people like, oh, I want to watch more movie, and there'd be like people that are watching movies that don't even watch the stream. They're just like literally pure movie viewers, and that's it.
Yeah.
So then the question is how much do we throw under the bus? But I don't even know who the offline chatters even would be at this
Shorna
point.
Fury.
Oh,
And
true.
Hamster Hawk. Them. I will say, I think that there are some offline chatters who just come here and hang out but don't watch you anymore.
Yeah, and for those people, so like
Yeah.
I love shawarma. I don't know if Proteus is around as much on others to chat, but like if you're somebody who just like stops by to just do like offline chat and that's it, I don't think I care much about those people in terms of like trying to protect their whatever, because it's like what
That's like the entire fucking Discord. I don't even know if anyone in there
well,
watches.
no, most of the people I
Destiny
know, I mean,
anymore.
that's me. But I think for offline chat, I think why significantly alter the entire chat just for those people? So then we're saying then that who gets to respond then to DGG chat? Should there be like an official like? Wait, here's a question: who does the forced embeds? Is it just me and anything else? And I guess Persec has done it once.
Persec did it not on his own. I'll do it for you. Not on his own. It's because Rinlux hosted him as like a meme.
As a meme, huh?
I mean, I paid him, but yeah.
Stop. Why would you do that to yourself?
Okay, sorry.
Also, the difference to describe what the hosting thing is, because it's not just like, oh, you get up there. It's the idea is if anyone lands on DGG big screen, your thing will play automatically, as opposed to if you're not like that, even if you're the top in bed. If anyone else goes to DGG and you're not live, even if they're the top in bed, nothing will be playing.
Mm-hmm. So, where were we
And
on?
then any stream that you're
here's an
on,
idea.
Steve, gets slash hosted by a mod if they see it. That is a policy. So like if you go on Darius' stream, people will usually slash host it because you're on it, so they want to like have
Uh-huh.
your leader, etc.
So do we have like an official list of people who get hosted? Should we have an official list of people who like get hosted?
Oh, should we or do we? Should we?
We don't.
We don't.
Well, it's just
We
you
don't have
and
an official list.
you
It's
guys
you
and me,
and
right?
It's us and you, yeah.
That's it.
And if you don't want, I mean, we can also not slash host in the morning. I don't think it would affect things
Sure.
a ton, but
should we?
Should we have a list?
I think the best way to go about it is like if it is literally just you. Like if you're on another stream, it gets hosted, and then like your stream gets hosted. But I don't know if like carving out exceptions there is. I don't know if it makes sense.
I feel like hosting is a later step. You should first. Do you create a list of people who are acceptable to interact with chat or not?
Which we kind of have already done with like the movie streamers, kind of, right? Hello?
Hello?
What?
Don't fucking exhaust yourself. This is my conversation.
Don't put it back in the crack.
Oh my god.
Can you just fucking be chill for goddamn 2 minutes?
Okay, you guys are talking about a non-issue. You guys have literally brought up an issue that doesn't
It's
even.
obviously an issue because Steve's bringing it up and he wants to solve it. So
Steven's only bringing it up because Persec's fucking like spurging out about it.
He's literally not spurging. If you want to call anybody a spurg, it's you right now.
Nope. Me being a spurg, dude. The only time this was ever an issue was like literally like 2 days ago when people were like, "Oh, my time slot." There's no fucking time slot. The only time slot that exists right now is
oh my god, Darius, you're fucking retarded. You got baited by your chat. You know you got baited by your chat, right? We've already discussed
you're
this.
unironically saying me. I'm not getting baited by chat.
No.
What?
Close the door.
Your chat baited you.
Close the door, Bjorn.
No, chat's not baiting me. You're actually talking about time slots.
I don't think anybody brought up time slots,
dude.
man.
Put it back.
No chat, by the way.
Okay, how many times is okay? For a sec, this is where we're at.
I don't know how many
you
times
can joke about something so much.
Darius,
When you joke about it so much, it doesn't seem like a joke anymore.
I don't care. Darius, I don't know how many times I have to say it. You get rage baited by your chat about this, but my actual position
I'm not even getting
I
rage
actually
baited.
don't care.
I'm not enraged.
You can stream. You can stream while I'm streaming. Anyone can stream while I'm streaming.
We know that.
This is my position. So why are you talking to me about fucking time slots?
I know, because you joked about it.
You, and you're mad at me about it. Why are you mad at me?
Because you did this thing, it caused people to go ahead and like make this meme. Because it was just like, oh, we're just all streaming. Like the time slot thing was never like a thing until you started doing it, and you were doing it as a joke. I get that, but it's like other people aren't joking, and then when it gets joked about so much, it becomes not a joke, and it makes people think it's an issue.
Wait, just like whenever you talk about me raping Merc on your stream all the time, is that the same thing, or is that different?
Oh! Is that an issue? Is that something you'd like to bring up? Wait, you can talk. You can. Wait, you understand?
Wait, is
my
the time
position?
something an issue? I don't know, man.
Is the time obviously because it's on stream?
Wait, is you talking about me and Merc on stream?
If you brought it up to me, yes, it would be. What the fuck?
Interesting. Okay, that's all. It's a meme. It's a non-issue. I don't think you actually care. I don't actually care.
But why are we even talking about it? What is
the
this talking about? Why do we need to figure out what we ought to do with DGG chat? I think everything's fine.
It's not fine now. There's currently an issue where like DRT0 wants to stream and he can't read DGG chat, and Parsec can. How do you explain?
Isn't Parsec given it because he's like an emo editor or some bullshit?
That's the reason that I've said it so far. That would be my thinking behind it, but I don't think anybody's actually thought this through, actually.
I agree, but I also think that no one should be allowed to read DDG chat except for you and Dan, because you guys are like you guys are like with the store.
Bounce on it harder.
No, because these guys are like they're partnered with the store. They're like in a business thing with Steven. You're not in a business thing with Steven.
I mean, I do think that
I'm also in a business thing.
Are you right now? Are you right
yeah,
now?
but like he's
Yes
like okay,
no?
sorry.
Are
What?
you right now or in the future?
Yes, right now.
You're lying, and I don't know why.
If you want me to send you my invoice, I can send you an invoice. I can send you a spreadsheet right now.
Well, getting an invoice is a little bit different than they're like Mr. Wooten and Dan's merch are on the shop.destiny.dg. Like they're like the whole like show they do is in partnered with Destiny. That's what it is. And it was literally Destiny's old show. It's a little different than like the emo editor guy and then like or like someone who has like a perm or like a mod. Like should Grimlux be able to fucking self-host if he goes live now? Or like fucking
Stream.
Erison? What?
None of these people stream. These aren't like good analogs.
Yeah, but if they started their stream, I don't think they should be able to do that. Oh, I think they should have the same rules as I have. Probably. But also, I don't think reading DGG chat in general is a problem. I mean, I get there could be like people that are attention seek, and people might start like jumping off bridges or something like for content and read DGG chat. But like,
fuck, I need more like active chat. My understanding is in the past this was like a huge issue. Am I to understand that this is just literally not an issue at all anymore? This was probably like one of the biggest issues that people had in the past with chat was whether or not you were allowed to. And I'm almost positive that you yourself were like banned and unbanned, and that people were so fucking mad over who. So is it not an issue anymore? Now nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, but there's like a selection of people that are only going to hate it when people are getting attention versus chat just like
I'm not kidding.
engaging like movie.
Those people are gone because of, I think, how it was going.
Well, but we hard banned all of that. Like people got in huge trouble then forever reading and responding to chat while they're streaming. Like when I say huge trouble, I mean like they'd be banned and then their streams would never be embedded.
Yeah. What I'm just saying is like at the bare minimum, because of AE, maybe this happened before, etc. But I think offline chat and the 10 really vocal people just fucked off for the most part.
Okay, so what do we think right now? Is there an issue right now then that needs like some clarity on, that we need clarity on?
Currently, here, I'll give you an actual example. Currently, Parsec can stream to DGG chat and read the chat.
Okay.
DRT0 cannot do this. Why?
Is this in our rules? Why not?
So currently, the thing that the mods have been saying is because Parsec is in a business agreement with you for the TTS stuff. That is why.
Yeah,
and
but wait, was he not reading off? Was Parsec not reading off messages in the past?
Parsec?
No. I streamed to my own stream for months prior to this with no interaction.
Oh damn! See, I didn't even know that. See how important chat is. Wow.
So if you want my business take, it's in Dark Triad group chat.
Jesus.
I think Persec's idea of a time slot is a great. I think we should go by.
There's not enough time in the day. It's impossible.
Not enough time in the day to what?
To have individual time slots for all these streamers.
Oh no, I was just joking. I was thinking
Movies,
Persec would get mad. Yeah, no, I was just joking. I wanted to see if Persec would yell. I didn't do it.
Why would Persec yell?
Because he gets mad. I bring up the time slot thing.
What's wrong? Wait, and why is the time slot thing not good?
Just not enough time in the day. It's not possible.
Well, wait, what? No, I mean, like, wait, couldn't you have like a curated list of streamers, and these are the only ones who are allowed to like read chat, and that would be the time slot thing? Or is there a reason why this is not a good idea?
It'll put you in an awkward spot.
Like, it's you, anything else, and then my stream, and then you stream in the afternoons, I stream overnight, and then anything else streams in the morning. That's how it is right now.
Sure. Wait, why would this put me in an awkward spot?
Because you have to decide who gets access.
Yeah, like
haven't we already done this game one time with the movie streamers?
I mean, I'm putting an example in the GC of.
It's a little bit different when there's like an army of movie streamers and it's fine because like someone else doesn't stream a movie. It's no big deal. Versus like we're talking about Persec, me, or other people that like make money off the internet, and then if that's something that dictates the money and you're streaming over it, it's going to be a little weird. But I mean, I mean, you have to get over it. But I mean, there's a lot of weird things involved in that. Which I don't think that you should be doing unless you're getting money for that, in my opinion.
If somebody is allowed to respond to the chat, do you think that they should be pushed, like have the embed like auto pushed or whatever? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah, should be manually hosted.
Oh sure, okay, yeah. Or no?
I would say no. I think unless you're on it, I think that's fine. I think whenever they do an hour, when you're on a stream, they'll host it sometimes. But if you're on Wick, they'll host Wick. I think that's good. Yeah. I think there should be just something in the website that makes it so that way it can switch to Kick Chat. That'll just make it a lot more easier for people to engage. But
automatically
and also
switch to Kick Chat. Is this just for the? Oh! You're saying that, like when you're on big screen. You're saying when you're on big screen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like make room.
Yeah. Like you remember you wanted that thing for like movie chat, and there's like also regular chat. There's like a way for that, but they could like switch over to Kick Chat. Embed for that whoever has hosted. That'd be great. Because right now there's like Wick will be like top embed, and he doesn't make anything off of it because no one's in his chat, and it always just seems like these people are botting. Like anytime per second.
I don't even know if I believe you about this Kick Chat thing.
What do you mean?
With what?
This would be like an offline convo if Kick Chat actually affects your KPBI.
I'm almost positive it significantly does.
You think that
yes, sir.
People typing does affect it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I would be interested to try this for a day then. Maybe one day I'll try and have everybody go to fucking Kick Chat and just type in.
And then we're about to change our own business model now.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of what I need to decide. So, okay, so sorry. Okay, so should there be a list of people who are allowed to respond to GG chat? It seems like the answer to that is yes.
Yes, I think it should be limited. Otherwise, it's going to be a clusterfuck.
Okay. So there should be a list of people who are approved to respond to chat. Then the next question would be, do any of these people get like a push to their stream from the big screen thing? Yes or no? Like should they or should they not?
I think it should just stay as you, AE, and whatever stream you.
But you saying
onto.
you and AE, that is pushing us.
Sure.
Well, I think you guys getting pushed in the morning as a morning show is fine. I think a happy compromise is you don't auto host your late night streams if you do them.
Sure, that's fine. I can also, every time I host Steve in the morning, so I think that there is a big.
I'm fine with that, but I don't want to have because I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. But I don't want people fucking losing their marbles if I start streaming and a movie is going on.
They're gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, but that's
also wait. So here's the next question that I was gonna ask, because if we do this thing where we say that people can, I'm gonna make a list of people to respond to DGG. Do I need to do time slots? Because are we really sure that this is just not an issue where there are multiple people streaming who are all responding to DGG chat? It's not going to be a huge clusterfuck. That's just not a real issue anymore.
We have a microcosm of this. I'm not there for it, so I'll ask. What happens in the very late night when Parsec and Darius are streaming at the same time?
And then I decide to go live.
I don't know about you, but I know for Parsec and Darius, as a late night viewer, I feel like people generally just gravitate towards one thing wherever the stuff is happening, and then like I'm chatting. I'm speaking as a chatter right now. I don't even know if Parsec is live until like Darius goes offline, and then I'll check and see what other people are chatting about, and then I'll click. But I feel like basically
you've been stuck in my time slot lately.
What?
Okay,
You've been stuck in my time slot.
Good one.
It's bad.
Either one yields, or if they both persist, they split. One obviously gets a bigger chunk, but
I feel like people already kind of naturally gravitate towards like a waiting for. Personally, feel free to chime in also. Because I feel like you wait for like big Darius stuff to finish and then you go like online afterwards, or do you just stream over it? You don't care, or?
Yeah, typically, because even if he's not like necessarily using the chat, like I understand how many people are watching Darius, and I don't like. For the most part, I try not to go live, but like the thing is like if it's like a time of day where I'm like already gonna be going live anyways, and it's like it's like midnight around and then he's still live, like I'm gonna boot up my stream, and then like if people are gonna watch me, they're gonna watch me. If they're gonna stay there, they're gonna stay there. But I'm not gonna like wait until like somebody who cannot interact with the chat is going to go offline, especially if he's like streaming past the time that I go live every single day, and I have been live every single day at this time for like.
Yeah, so then having
now,
the
like,
chat responsibility basically makes you OP. Like you can basically boot other people off, right? Or am I misunderstanding that?
Yeah. I don't know
No,
how
that's
you
facts.
necessarily say that you boot them. Like it'd be like booting them off in like the same way
Okay.
that like movies starting would boot them off.
Sure. I feel like Hold on, wait. I don't know if I like this comparison between like movie chatters not being able to respond to the chat, because what does a movie chatter even have to?
They're throwing Omega Lols out and talking about, the movie.
Sure, but like doesn't chat to talk for the chat to talk about the movie?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, but like, so when I was a movie streamer, if I ever wanted to just like overpower another embed, I would just do like an epic reference, so chat would spam lols, and then if everyone sees all the lols in the chat, they're like, oh, there's a lot of lols here. I wonder what's so funny. So I'll go over to the other embed, and then I'll be able to take over there. And that's pretty much just like a little bit of chat manipulation you can do there. Just as
Do we
a
still
movie
have-
streamer.
Do we still have like an approved movie chatter thing? Like is that whole schedule stuff? Is that still like a thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, jeez, guys.
So
Embed wars are a real thing, but
just gonna say, if you do go and make an approved list, and then if DRT0 is on that approved list, it can get a little wonky because he's also a movie streamer.
Well, that would be pretty easy, right? We would just say not when you're streaming movies.
What do you mean?
Well, like if you're streaming movies, you can't respond to the chat if you're an approved like streamer guy or whatever, right?
How does that make sense? Oh, you mean like
If you're on the
stream.
approved
Sorry.
response-
No. I understand what you mean. I thought you just meant like in chat, like you can't respond in chat. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you give a fuck about time slots? So, for instance, if Parsec is streaming, can Darius just be like, I'm going to start stream?
Well, so that's the thing that I don't understand, because right now, the thing is Parsec and Darius don't overlap as much, right? Because I think Parsec he streams till like fucking 6 a.m. But like if we got another streamer that popped up and then started like overlapping hardcore, I don't know. It feels like the potential for drama down the road, but maybe
There is. That's just like why you have to limit the numbers. Unfortunately, like I hate to be like the guy who's
Sure.
sitting here biased about it.
No,
like,
shut up,
I want
don't
it
worry about
to-
it. But it's
want
not
it
about just-
exclusive, but it has to
Yeah.
be exclusive,
Yep.
right?
It's not just
Or
about
you're
limiting
gonna
the.
fuck it.
It's not just about limiting the numbers though. It's also about like the time slots too, right? Because because you could theoretically have 20 people doing this, but if they're not overlapping on stream time, it doesn't matter.
That's
right?
no issue.
The issue is when the overlap on stream time happens, then it gets really awkward.
It could, but like again, in my case, like I said, I don't have an issue with it. So find people that don't have an issue with it. I don't know what else.
I mean,
to do.
I guess here's an issue. How do you feel about like the
Wait, hold on.
streamers?
Wait,
streaming
just
over
real
the
quick. Let me
time
just test that real quick. You said you don't have an issue with it.
No.
Okay, let's say hypothetically, I made tomorrow a new person joins and it's food shops and they decide to stream over you and they have 3 times your viewers every single time, and now every time you try to stream, the chat is mainly in their direction. You wouldn't have an issue with that.
No, because I would just need to up my content. It's that simple.
Okay.
If I'm not doing content that's like worth watching, people aren't gonna watch it, right?
All right, Mr.
I think you would stop streaming.
Damn.
I wouldn't, and I haven't in the past. I always stream through everything. I've streamed through movies. I've streamed through Darius going live. I've streamed through Dan going live. It doesn't matter. Like I don't.
He
give
does
a
it for the
shit.
love of the game.
He's admitting that he's starting a time slot. He's admitting that he's starting a time slot.
Okay. I mean, I could be wrong.
No, okay, that's fine.
You're a stronger man than me.
I mean, we functionally just have Parsec and Darius doing it right now, and there's already not enough time in the day. I don't see how you add more people and make a schedule. It's just not possible.
Well, I mean, we don't
I
have
guess-
anybody in the. Oh no, I guess we have 8 in the morning.
I start at like 7 a.m. How do you feel about, I guess, movie streamers being cucked by these quote unquote new streamers? Like, there's a movie schedule. and then Darius or Parsec stream over that movie schedule.
That's a bad. I'm not a good person. I don't like the movie streamers. I feel like that's just a huge source of drama in the community. So I'm a bad person to ask that. I don't understand that one.
I mean, I agree. I think there should be just Friday and Saturday movies that are at
but I think
a certain
then
time, and there's like 2.
Those people would revolt if we just had like.
They absolutely
there's
would,
like-
and they're going to say, "What about the European chatters?
And
Look,
that
we
too,
don't get
yeah.
a
That's why I
time
said you
slot."
would have one in the morning, one at night.
They're going to have your head for that.
Warzone. No. That's funny. He's very upset. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Is that TTS?
Look, we actually make a content house for me and Persec, just between for the times. Like, I'll wake you up. We could just like have like a DGG house. We can move in with Mooten and Dan.
I would never.
Oh wait, actually, speaking of Dan, am I coming over to your house tomorrow or today?
Maybe I'll meet you somewhere.
Oh, what?
Can we sort this out before you start making fucking plans?
I'm gonna set the time slot.
Wait, so we don't need a time slot. So then we're just going to say, okay, so for as to who can respond to chat, I need to make the list on that. And then,
I mean, here's how I came across it. It was in relation to the TTS access. I had asked for it. I thought I would just like pay a subscription or something for it. Then it came back to me that it would be TTS plus access to DGG in exchange for a percentage of revenue, and that the people who got in on that were specifically AE, Parsec,
like a percentage of
and then I
all
guess
your
myself.
revenue?
Either Dono or all of it, yeah, something like that.
That sounds
It is
crazy.
not all.
That's how it came back to me.
It is not all.
Okay.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but I don't
And-
just give the TTS thing, but
It is the TTS.
okay.
And so that's why Parsec would get access, but the TTS thing isn't built out yet. So my suggestion would be we just go back to how it was before until Jada Fernanda gets off his ass and makes it.
Damn.
And then in the meantime, you can curate that list however you want to.
Okay.
It's a big responsibility.
All right. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any other final thoughts or contributions to this?
Well, I mean, I got a thought.
What?
How are you going to decide who gets access or not? Because I feel like people are going to get real mad over your decision.
That's
Oof. I mean, I'll have to think about it, huh?
That's not going to
business.
backfire on you. Okay.
Yeah, that's just business.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'll bite the bullet here. I think that the movie schedule, I think it would be better if there were like 1 in the morning and 1 at night on Friday and Saturday, so people could actually watch movies. The fucking 6 hours of movies, I think, is a bit retarded at times.
Are there people doing? Is that a thing? People do like 6 hours of movies or whatever.
I'm pretty sure the schedule,
They
yeah.
fill it all the time. And they still want more time. I'm happy to cut it back. Like, it's just...
How many hours of movies would you say on average we stream a day right now?
What's this? It's only on weekends now, I think, unless you're gone.
Oh, it is only on weekends right now?
Yeah, unless
Oh.
you're gone for longer than 2 days, then
Mhm.
it does vacation.
That's when it gets
Shit.
AIDS.
But I added like double-digit hours worth of time because before there was just dead air. It's like it's during like the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. period.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely fine as long as any orbiter can stream over it, though. I mean, I kind of agree, but it is also nice to have like a movie where everybody's watching.
Mm-hmm.
But it would, in my opinion, just need to be like one golden movie then. Like one movie a
Are
week.
you saying
would
no
be,
more
like, the
Jader's
quote-
Choice movies? I'm just kidding.
Well, no. Jader's Choice is always Kino. But what I'm saying is, like, it'd be nice if there was one movie where, like, there were nobody streaming over it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Those will be from new releases only.
What?
Like,
No throwing the chips. Only eat the chips.
I think if you're like coming in a chat, you're like, oh, let's all do like fucking Star Wars trilogy fucking thing, dude. Like, alright, probably not that. Or fucking Marvel Avengers. Let's not do that. But
probably for like new releases. I think that's good. And topical things that you're talking about.
But I don't want to just watch like new releases. I mean, I don't want to watch.
Sometimes people want to watch
Well,
like
something that's topical for the stream thing. I guess. But I think like the random like, okay guys, we're all gonna watch fucking The Godfather trilogy. No fucking stops. No fucking.
I'm just saying it'd be nice if on Saturday at X time everybody knew that there is one movie. Okay, that's gonna happen at this time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're good. We're good now then, right? For now, we're gonna. We're all happy. We'll figure
Well,
it out.
actually, kind of not.
What are we next?
So, do we revert to the previous standard where no one interacts until that's sorted?
No, I think right now. Oh, so right now the only people are me, AE, and Persec.
I did a little just because I thought I was privy to that TTS potential deal or whatever, but I can just revert back. I don't mind.
Okay. Well, I feel like if you have the TTS thing,
No!
you certainly, because it does not play into
No
that.
spilling juice.
Well, I haven't, like, I'm waiting for it to get implemented, but Parsec started. Just jumped into it. So I was like,
If I just add a TTS donation thing to my
No. It's not the one that's integrated with chat, is what he's talking about. I'm assuming
the one that JJ sent me the link to?
Does that even work? Did he say link to the DGG one?
Anybody can go and listen to your TTSs.
Well, yeah, they can. But like, in order for it to play there, you have to.
Yeah. I plug it into my browser source and it works. It works all the time.
Yeah, but then people just donate to me for that, and then I was eating all your donations.
Yeah, I know, which is what's happening.
Yeah, but he would be willing to give that up in order for him to be able to read DGG chat.
That's
that'd be
crazy.
easier.
Don't we have it set up right now? I don't think it's automated yet, but can't you? Isn't it that you're supposed to invoice us or whatever for whatever the donations are?
We don't do it right now. We're waiting for the whole TTS thing.
Right now, they just pay on your website, and then you'll need to read DGG chat.
Waiting though is because like, okay, I am invoicing. I have an invoice set up, and I have like a fucking spreadsheet for every single thing.
Okay, I feel like it's important for people to know, right? Otherwise, some people are gonna be mega ass paid if they find out something. And I don't want to get like $500 million of invoice at the end of the year for a bunch of people who are like, oh shit, I never get invoiced this, so here you go.
I'm not. Yeah. We're not. If anybody donates during your stream during AE right now and they do the TTS, that's all your shit. We don't care.
Jesus Christ.
That's.
Wait, so we're invoicing? Who's invoicing that money?
Well, I don't even know if you're using any of this.
You're not even using it. There is.
I know, I use it. I have it on my stream.
Is that true?
Yeah, I know no one does it. I mean, I don't like say like, oh, this is on there. Yeah, but it's on there. It's a browser source. I said, JDR sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll hide it, sure. And then someone used it once, and I was like, oh, that's...
Okay.
Well, I have my own TTS, so people just use that. There's like stuff over me.
Okay. I will, yeah, we'll figure that bad boy out, for sure.
So I can reach out.
Is Darius on the list? He's not right now, right? I don't think he's not. You're not on the list right now, Darius.
But I'm adding the TTS. If the standard is just adding the TTS,
is not. I don't think that's ready to go. I think Jitter is like that's like an alpha project, like Daisy.
And what the fuck are we talking about? Where Persec's allowed to do it because of?
I don't know why Persec can do it. I can't. Okay. Right now,
my stream is a community stream. It's a community stream.
There it is. See, here's what I would say. You know what? Here's the rules right now. Okay. Right now, anybody can react to or respond to chat until I say otherwise, and then I'll think out a thing, and then in the chaos that follows, then I like still see what people get mad at and what works and what doesn't work, and that's cool. So anybody can.
Moose is gonna dominate. She's gonna burn his such to like Omega Wolves. Wait. Wait until you figure it out.
This is gonna be sweet. Good.
Alright.
I'm pumped.
Well, so Darius, you can interact.
It's not gonna be sweet. It's gonna be a fucking clusterfuck.
I was just told that didn't matter anymore, so it should be fine. Okay.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun couple of days. That's for sure.
That's what I want.
Time to eat pasta, okay?
I want fun in chat. Okay. Anything else? Or are we good for now?
Yeah, I have one last thing. Listen, this is gonna test people's theory because there are a lot of people. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna name races. Why? Listen, there's a lot of people in this fucking chat that think that they have the comments. Listen, I fucking dare you, okay? I dare you to go live and I dare you to be top F. If you can do it better than me, listen.
No, Bjorn, stay in your chair. Daddy's bringing you dinner. Wait, Bjorn, wait. Bjorn, Daddy's bringing you dinner, okay? Hold on.
And we had to do all that. There are people that will cater to DGG chat. I don't think you should chat with that person. And then they'll be great. They'll be fine. There's that one guy. You guys remember Brandon? Remember Brandon? The Japanese Tinder guy. Who remembers him? Any old heads?
What do you mean, Jen or whatever?
Not Bomb-Jen. No, he was a guy. He was a Japanese himself, but he lived in Japan. He would go on Tinder and he'd match with girls. And
Wait, was this from our community, or do you just mean like?
yeah, he was from here. He would be at top of bed at night at like fucking 2 a.m.
Okay, I don't know, but
And he was like a fucking
Food is coming.
and he'd be like a white gosh and just getting bad bitches.
Alright, I'll keep an eye on all the drama fallout, and then I'll make a decision about stuff.
Wait, Bjorn, your food is coming.
Scram.
Wait,
What?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he said he never asked for it, and now look at him. Oh my god.
There you go.
You already have them. What are you talking about?
look at what? I didn't.
Oh, okay. Be careful. Fine. Okay. We're playing RTTS.
Fuck your stupid auto-mute and fuck OK-Dude9 for having a name that auto-tabs to an emote.
Okay.
Do you think clout makes you less empathetic? This girl's messages seemed like she really cared, but Pablo was very nonchalant. And
It's coming, Bjorn.
look, does having options make you care less if you lose one or two girls? Because, you know, you'll replace them.
Only for the truly evil men.
Liberal, campus, proud. The covenant signed off. Bum. Gave Lady Liberty the splashing. She whispered life, liberty, and property, mid-stroke blood clot. Meanwhile, the commies still splitting one hot dog 14 ways in a group chat. Read the theory. Eat the crumb. Oh. Natural rights. Undefeated. Get that ass. Banned.
Okay.
I could name 10 things us girls need before we ever need a man. 1 new vape, 2 lines of coke, free drinks from the bar.
No, Bjorn, no. Daddy's bringing you food right now.
6 my blunt, 7 more lines of coke, 8 pairs of shoes, 9 BB belts, and 10 drunk cigarettes. Girls don't need men, Barbie don't need Ken. Us girls are doing fine on our own, so if you're a man, leave us alone. Getting girls rich, yes, that's a part of my plan. And I can name 10 things us girls need before we ever need a man. Ever need a man. Wow. You're
Hey, DGG chat! You can't even post emotes or the Big Brother will get you.
True. Careful.
I heard the most retarded take from you, Ilia's murder and assault, was just the mountain doing mountain things. Tywin held a deep-seated resentment that Elia Martell was chosen over Cersei by Harris II, and Tywin knows what the mountain will do.
Okay, good point.
You ready to eat food?
Fucking wanker! Can you believe that those
Is he screaming more than normal, or?
buy the shooting sticks? At least we didn't turn our schools into shooting galleries.
Ukrainian Anna is the true hero of DGG, and I should appoint her to be the head of my online presence.
Is that Forsen? Come back, Forsen. Oh, that's Zelensky. Okay, exactly.
Destiny populism is good. Look at Brexit.
Thanks, son.
Who's excited to boot up the
The
stream
important
after Steve goes
distinction in
online?
populist methodology is your adherence to the truth. Post-truth actors have forgone any coherence in the lies told. This depoliticizes people and drives them away from politics as a whole.
Good point.
It was dummy.
Hey, Jake, quit being a pussy and stand up for yourself. Ryan is chopped at Counter-Strike anyway. Also, let's play some vintage story.
All right, Jake, you heard him.
Metalloid sword here!
Wait, did you really give the Odyssey?
Metalloid sword here!
Oh my god, man. We can have it for 1 minute if you want. I just found an IMAX.
Wow.
Does it look good?
Metalloid sword here!
Did you just not? Oh, you were saying you didn't like the character. All right, yeah, I mean. Well, no, I didn't like the character.
Metalloid sword here!
I just feel like he's bad at making me care about people. Showcasing emotion, making you care. Yeah.
Metalloid sword here! Out of context, 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 out of context. That watch costs more than your car. I made $907 last year. How much you make? You see, pal, that's who I am. And you're nothing. Nice guy. I don't give a shit. Good father, fuck you. Go home and play with your kids. You want to work here? Close.
You talking about the Abbott drama?
Voila!
Another
In
one.
you,
Another one.
a humble Volvillian veteran cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no naivety, is a vestige of the vox populi now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition, or something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, Dud, stop, Mr. Malton. Dud.
Mokadoodoo, Weechi, Itchy, I'm going, I eat, Ewin.
Yeah, Destiny. I'm watching you and Tanley, making your sexy little factories with your hair, all messy for me, your cute little headphones on. I've got lotion on my shit, man. I'm a freak, man.
Thank you, EDP.
Oh, drop.
Hey, what's up?
I'm like, oh, drop.
Are you a tall giraffe?
Yeah. Shut up.
That's great.
Who the fuck is Destiny? Average offline chatter. Good one.
Pick up the noodle.
Wait, I have a thing. Yeah, what? Hold on, I'm sick, so I'm corn popping. I gotta remember what it was. Oh, unironically, we gotta get Abba to donate his sperm to the government, because if we're ever gonna go down, we need him to repopulate the Earth. He's just doing banger after banger, man. Yeah, I don't know. That guy's moving kind of weird. The strongest sperm, something like that. Jesus. Alright, well, I love you guys. Have fun. Stay safe. Are you gonna see the Spider-Man movie? At some point I will. Yeah. Wait. Yep. Is there another prompt thing or no? Let me look. Prompt goal.
Gosh, go
If you donate TDS at the end when I'm ending stream, you know I'm ending stream, and it gets skipped, that's your fault. You're fucking retarded. We're gonna squeeze it in when you know that I'm so. Fuck you, okay? I'll play the rest of
Just
it.
riding with Bosch in Germany. It would be such a good time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gosh, I wish that I could go brothel shopping with Hassan in Germany. That would be such a good time.
Good one. Okay. Sorry, what were we saying? I can't find it. What were you looking for? Prompt golf. Prompt golf?
That's what you said, right?
Oh, the prompt thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, just look it up. I looked it up. What is it? The game. Didn't you play it? We have to prompt the thing?
Yes, but I'm saying I can't find the website, man.
Oh, it's jugalmystery.com, you idiot. But it's still the same prompt. Why did they never update the site as a daily or whatever?
I don't know. Probably hard. But there's another site. Prompt golf. This one.
Prompt golf. Does this get updated daily?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe. We'll check it out tomorrow. Alright. There you go. Love you, babe. Thank you for the gifted subs in Kick Chat by Vijvi. Okay. We're gonna cappuccino, 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 I'll catch you guys next.
If we're doing movie recommendations, I want to recommend Schindler's List. Yeah, no, just keep that one on a loop. It's my favorite feel-good movie.
I-E-R-E-A.
Okay, be careful, bye.
Yeah, this is the guy that killed himself, right? Yeah. University of Cambridge professor, Center of Plagiarism. Plagiarism row resigns. Article omits several falsehoods by Arde. Lies about sports feeds. Claimed role at 7-Up show. False threats at university. Claimed receiving a pig head. He claimed receiving a pig's head. Ooh. And fake interview data, reporting an academic challenging to his work in police. So is this the guy that basically faked all of his credentials and then nobody wanted to call him out on it because they got accused of racism? Is that it? AI detection for dear colleges is with profound sadness. I want to. Oh, so even his resignation letter was written with AI. Okay, yeah. So this is not a big surprise. I think anybody could have expected this. And so this is him talking, I guess, before he crashed out. Let me see.
My name is Jason Arde. I'm Professor of Sociology of Education.
And you see, that's how you know it's fake. It's because he's got a. It's like a human centipede of fake. It's like, sociology's fake. The professor is fake. The credentials are fake. The book stuff is fake. The methodology, everything about it's fake, right?
University of Cambridge, and I'm very fortunate to be the author of Great and Unfortunate Things. I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. I learned to speak just before the age of 12, so I was 11. I learned to read and write when I was 18 years of age. Those milestones became quite significant. 12 years after learning to read and write, I gained a PhD, and then I ended up becoming one of the youngest professorial chairs in Cambridge's history. The memoir is a story of a mother who advocated for their non-verbal and autistic child who, on the spectrum of autism in terms of global development delay and other things, navigated lots of different difficulties in this journey that ended up becoming this memoir.
Wow, great and unfortunate things. Well, it's always unfortunate when somebody takes their own life, obviously, but the guy seemed like a scammer, right? Defended disgraced DEI professor. What is this here? A victim of vile hate campaign. What is this?
I always felt it was a privilege to have a period of 11 years where maybe I couldn't speak, couldn't converse in a way that everyone else could, because it allowed me to see things in a different way.
Professor Jason Arday was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder at the age of 3.
Like, is it crazy to me that everybody talking about this guy is talking about how he used to be retarded and now he's not anymore? Like, I mean, I feel like this is kind of, like, if I was, like, for example, like, if I was going to the dentist and then the dentist was like, you know how, like, you go to the dentist, right, and they have, or a surgeon, and they have, like, all of their, you know, certificates and their their diplomas, right, from the place they went to and everything, right? And like this guy has, like, you know, he's your dentist and he has, like, I recovered from Parkinson's disease. I used to be spastic, but I'm not anymore. Like, and I see all these and I'm like, holy fuck. Holy fuck, do we need to go somewhere else? Do we need to go to a different, like, yeah, you know what I mean?
He couldn't speak until he was 11 and read or write until he was 18.
Yeah.
Throughout his early years...
See, he's too old nowadays. If he was born in the wrong generation. If he was maybe 10 years younger, he'd just be a streamer.
His parents continued to believe in him.
At 18, my mum had got to a point where there was only so much she could do, and she was brilliant, even though she had this belief that, you know, he'll do something okay, but she just decided, I need someone else to believe in him as much as I believe in him.
Therapists predicted he would need full-time assistance throughout his life.
Full-time assistance.
How wrong they were.
You okay?
It was this man, college tutor Sandro Sandri, who helped teach Jason to read and write at 18.
This reminds me of Helen Keller. It does. It reminds me of Helen Keller, bro. Like, holding their hands and shit like this, right? Oh my god. This is the Netflix adaptation.
I'm happy for him. You know, I'm speechless, to be honest. But I never doubt that
Shoes on the other
he will
foot.
achieve where he is.
Yeah.
Sandro would spend hours of his free time teaching Jason.
There's one thing you said to me which I never forgot, and it was when I was 22, and I said to you I was thinking about doing a PhD, and you said to me, like, you know, it would be the greatest story in the world if the kid who didn't know how to read and write was managed to get a PhD. Like, and you said, like, I think...
It's crazy how, like, really, whenever you say, whenever he's explaining it, it's clearly this is his own reflected self-aggrandizement, right? Where, like, okay, well, I'm gonna position myself as the person who got this retard to have a PhD, and, like, you know, at the same time, I'm gonna be, like, the biggest virtue signaler. And you put this guy basically, you know, you're putting this guy on the top of a bridge at the top of a building, and then they jump off, right? I think that you need to look at the different people that allowed this to happen. It's a huge issue.
You know, we can take on the world, or you can take on the world.
You can take on the world.
And I never forgot that.
And now Jason is days away from achieving another ambition. Here's his new boss at Cambridge.
We do have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But I feel really optimistic. I think.
Part of his research will look at new ways to make higher education more accessible for everyone.
What can we do to ensure that this isn't a market appointment in 5 years' time? How can this become the norm?
We've listened to the voices of our black scholars and our black students.
This is important because you see, black people don't read books the same way that white people do. Yeah, this is really important. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, because, see, black people don't, see, like, whenever they go to school, it's a totally different type of thing, right? But you can't just teach a white person the same way you teach a black person. Like, how is it that the KKK and these people think the same thing? Really? Like, I mean, doesn't that seem like a problem to you? Holy shit.
And some of it has not been easy to hear, to be honest, but we're able to face up to some of the structural issues.
There's a structural issue. There's a structural issue with Cambridge that has to do with black people.
obviously, you know, these people love living in ambiguity. Like, what does this really mean? What do you mean by this? What are you trying to say? Nothing, right? Absolutely nothing.
That people face.
There will be those that think this is a tokenistic appointment. What are your thoughts on this?
It's a tokenistic appointment.
The board of electors on your interview day were absolutely unanimous. We are so lucky to have you.
You're not a token because we all wanted you to be one? Like, like that's not even... Jesus Christ, like, how is it that, like, because if you go back and you listen to even... It's actually crazy... it's so cliche to say this, but I think it's really true, is that we are edging towards idiocracy so fast. It's happening so fast. And, like, nowadays, if you listen to presidential debates, if you listen to the news, if you listen to professors talk about things, like, go back and watch an interview with J.R.R. Tolkien, or, I'm trying to think of, like, other people that are, like, really well-spoken, right? But, like, just in general, like, I can't think of a lot. Okay, I'm not used to thinking quickly on my stream. I've been off-stream for a while. But, you know, again, like any old psychologist, you know, Sigmund Freud or somebody like that, they're gonna, Carl Sagan, you know, these people, the level at which they communicate, you don't even see this anymore. It's very problematic.
Best in the world in terms of the research that you do.
An extraordinary journey, but for Jason, this is not an end. It's a beginning.
The reaction has been amazing, and I'm truly grateful to everyone for their kind sentiment and kind words. We've got a lot of work to do.
Celestina Olulode, BBC News, Cambridge.
Yeah. Joseph Campbell is the guy I was thinking of. And, I watched interviews with him too. And it's the thing is that you listen to interviews with these people and then you compare it and it's just a totally different world. It really is. J.K. Rowling, perhaps. That wasn't who I was thinking of, right? And it's hilarious to realize they desperately wanted a hero for their fantasy inclusion narrative, and by God, he gave them one. I don't really blame him. He's a chancer, a con man, and a charlatan. I even have a begrudging degree of admiration for him. Why wouldn't he take them? He's absolutely begging to be had, but it's also sinister. You can bet your life that every university faculty harbors similar Walter Minty character who's adorned by simpering morons with short fringes, blue hair, tattoos, and excess weight. It's a national scandal, but if you talk about it, of course, you're racist. So this guy basically ended up killing himself after it was exposed, I guess. Is that press censorship for investigating a journalist who tried to expose this person? Wait a minute. So they're trying to now expose... Oh my God. I didn't know it was this bad. Jesus, James Huntley has been found dead in his apartment. Oh my God. Yeah, let me just go through, like, I'm gonna just go through all these real quick and pick all of them out and look at all this. And White Guild is now assuming every race is inferior themselves, I guess. The tragic death of Professor Jason Arde forces us... Here we go. The tragic death of Professor Jason Arde forces us to confront the impossible standards placed on black people and their devastating consequences. So let me get... I don't even understand, like, how does this even make any sense, right? Because, like, you think about it, so... He was only in the position because of DEI initiatives, right? And they're talking about him being black the whole time, right? And so how is it that he's both gaining this advantage, but he's also the one that's being killed for it? It doesn't even make sense, right? It's insane. And possible standards of not cheating. The Telegraph identified more than 100 examples of identical or near identical wording between Paula Zolak-Meyer's thesis and Jason Arde's thesis. Avoiding plagiarism is a minimum standard, not an impossible standard for academics. Yeah, let's all hear about how black people can't avoid plagiarism. And let's hear this from the people that aren't racist. Let's hear them explain to us why you're racist for thinking that people shouldn't plagiarize. Definitely. Press visceral, naked, irrational patrons filed by defenders of Jason Arde. Cambridge professor is accused of being an unqualified charlatan. The accusation may be grossly invented. On the other hand, it might not, depending on the evidence. The correct question to ask is not what is the color of his skin, but the fact is it true that he's an unqualified charlatan?
I think that this is what's happened with a lot of cases where you've had people that have been they've been promoted to positions of incompetence, and they do that. They get these positions because they are an identity. They are part of an identity group. And I think that you can clearly see this happen with video games, and you can just look at the way that teams are designed. And this needs to be totally removed. Like, all DEI stuff and everything is, in my opinion, a complete and absolute fucking, like, it's antithetical to Western culture. Fundamentally, I think DEI is. Like, because the entire idea is having, like, a meritocracy and having the ability to, you know, like, put yourself out there. But for some reason, Cambridge is at fault here. Yeah, for some reason, people care more about the way something looks rather than what it actually is. Richard Dawkins is totally right about this. First it was $110K for funeral costs, and now it's $200K. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus, man. I just, let me see, how much is it up to now? Oh, this is just it's just a fucking random thing, right? And so they're obviously trying to raise money. I mean, Arde waged lawful against the men who questioned his thesis. He filed a police harassment report against the journalist. Wait a minute. So this gets even better. This actually makes me a lot less sympathetic to him. So this guy filed a police report against somebody who was trying to investigate whether he was, like, fucking, scamming? Is this... Did this happen? Like, oh my god! Yes? Wow. Okay, well, there you go, right? I feel a lot less bad for him now. Filed a police harassment report against Jay Grove and reported academic David Harris to police for... Reported an academic to the police for racism. This is one of the most UK statements and UK sentences I've ever read. Because Harris questioned his quote work. No sympathy from me. Yeah, I think my sympathy is also rapidly evaporating. I'm under investigation by my university for discriminating against Arde. So it looks like this person, and so now he's being investigated for questioning whether this guy was authentic or not. Wow. Oh my god. They said they sent him a pig head and a masked man someone tried to stab him. Well, and I think this is what's so funny about this is that this fantasy that, like, people, they don't want to see a black person who's successful. Now, don't get me wrong. There are racist people out there, and they are evil, and they're awful, and nobody should be okay with it. But some of the most conservative people out there, their favorite justice is Clarence Thomas, and one of their favorite economists is Thomas Sowell. Okay? So, what are we doing here? Like, are we really trying to pretend? Are we still trying to ride this same hobby horse in 2026? It's embarrassing. That's the guy who uncovered it all. He had to post it on his Substack because journalists refused to cover it. So no journalists wanted to talk about the fact that Cambridge invited a black professor in that made up all this. It's really, guys, it's really something special. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, and it's just sad. They kept it quiet for years. I bet they did. And they also got fired from the University of Belgium. Again, and by the way, this is created by a council of Karens. Like, I can guarantee you that this evil, as with many other evils, most other evils, I would say, at least societal evils, are perpetuated by councils of Karens. And they enable this type of behavior so they can feel good about themselves. That's just what happens. It's very annoying, but there it is. This is what communism looks like. This is what any level of suppression like that looks like. I mean, it's really what it is. They kill them with kindness. In an ironic way, you're right. I was just suspended from Ghent University. They will almost certainly fire me. The decision was made by Rector Petra de Sutter, a former leader of the Green Party. Yeah, there it is. I mean, again, it's insane how much these people care about forcing this ideology on everybody. And I do really hope that one day people can open their eyes and recognize that these people do need to be stopped. And you need to pull out you need to use every rule in the book and then write new ones to, like, not only proactively prevent new things from this happening, but punish the people that did this, right? Because these people are they're ruining every institution they're a part of. They are, and they're getting away with it, which is what the biggest issue is. That conservatives and a lot of anybody who's right-wing or even a moderate, they have this idea of principles, and they have this ideal that's weaponized against them that the moment that you apply the rules in your favor, you are being biased, but the moment that somebody else does it in their favor, well, then you just should shake your head and say that that's not what you should do. So what happens, the end result of this is that, more power accumulation ends up on the other side. And you spend 40 years of this happening, 50 years of this happening since like the 60s or 70s, and you have these institutions that are completely captured by ideologues with some sort of agenda, right? They have an agenda with all of this. It can only last for so long. I think that it is coming to a head. It is. I think it's very clearly coming to a head. Anti-Confess hate rally in Trafalgar Square with 15,000 attendees. Wait, what? Oh my God. Wow. It's always racism. The UK is insane. It really is. Well, they're totally cocked from Hitler. It's like what I've said before. Ever since World War II, it's been illegal to have an opinion that you don't want to live with, savage value systems from the third world. It's now illegal to have an opinion that you want to live around people that are like you. Like, it created and it basically poisoned the entire Western world with white guilt. That's what's happened. I think that's what happened with Hitler. If it wasn't for Hitler, we wouldn't have any of these issues. And I really do believe that. I think that really him and like how stupid and bad the Nazis were was so bad that now everybody has to preemptively act in a way that's not like that. Fuck Hitler? Yeah, I mean, it really, I'm just, I know this. Usually people don't like him for things like, I don't know, like the Holocaust or something, right? Which, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. But there's also this too. This is also bad. Now I hate Hitler? No, now. Well, I never saw it that way. You know what, now you bring it up that way, yeah, wow. So true. I thought it was the art. Yeah, definitely. And conspiracy theorists proven right again. Leftists did scheme behind the scenes to get rid of Confess. Exactly. The document's proposal for reporting the negative effects of being members of the department and reporting the strengths of leadership as well. A guide to support it lists the various options. Oh my God. I dare say Nathan will lose his position at Gantt, and that'll send a message to other young academics. They will. And then, unless you, again, this guy, like, there are a lot of very good-natured Western men that I think are going to have to do things that will make people sad in order to preserve the society that we live in. I think that really you have to go after these people in a serious way. You do. And if you don't do that, they will rule over you with an iron fist that is insane. Like, it's not even like, for example, like with China, for example. Like, you can say China rules with an iron fist. Yeah, but at least they have, like, light-up skyscrapers and stuff, right? These people rule with an iron fist, and you have Skid Row. So you don't even get any of the benefits from fascism. You're not even getting any of the benefits of a totalitarian, like fucking central planned government. So you have the worst of both worlds. You have third worldization of everywhere around you, and you also have fucking total control. It's like, at least in China, things look nice, right? I mean, they have nice buildings, right? It's the same as other, like, Russia actually is kind of a shithole. But, like, in some places it's not. And we want fascist benefits now? Yeah, either give us the fascist benefits or stop being fascist. Like, I don't want to live in a shithole world if we have, like, that's the whole trade-off here. Dubai, yeah, Dubai is like this. Yeah, what the hell is this? Moscow's beautiful? Yeah, it's in one place though, right? I mean, Russia's a really big place. So, I don't know. Russia has those fancy roofs. Well, that's St. Petersburg, which is the other place that Russia, it's another really, really famous place.
And then, oh, here we go. They care so much about Saint Jason Arde, they cannot even get his name right.
Dude, Patrick Vernon.
Friends.
On that all you who come here tonight. We are here first and foremost for Professor James Arden. To pay our respects. And to
James Arde. Who is James Arde? What a fucking idiot, man. Oh my god. Or his kids, his wife knew he didn't run those marathons over in 2012. She repeated his lies on TV. Yeah, I mean, it's just the Jason Arde story. George Atterbury, the president of Oxford Union, debating Charlie Kirk here in sweatpants and a Batman t-shirt. A year later, he celebrated Charlie Kirk getting murdered. The universities have fallen so far. Well, they've been allowed to fall this far. That's the thing, is that, yeah, this is another example of another fucking idiot, right? And, sure, we disregard for some responsibility these days is insane. It's not a disregard for responsibility. It is a regard for an ideology that transcends responsibility. It is a focus on an ideology. Once you view their ideology as a religion, everything else kind of comes into place. And I think that's the way it is.
This next step is the most crucial part of the recipe. It's a tomato
Is Michelin star chef has something like this? How can you up a recipe?
Tomato ketchup.
Tomato ketchup. Ma che cazzo fa questo scemo? Questo è crazy, man. This is ridiculous.
One last ingredient I'm going to add to this compote. Thai fish sauce.
Madonna.
A piece of advice. Never trust the cooking times on pasta packets.
Like first, never trust this guy making bolognese. This is that's what I just watched. You need to be a scientist, chef, and experiment ways to improve the bolognese. Maybe you can improve the bolognese. But what if you have the perfect bolognese? What if you have the perfect bolognese recipe? You don't need to do anything to that. Heston is a Michelin star chef and famous for his creativity. But can you really perfect the bolognese sauce? Let's find out. So in this video, Heston goes to Bologna searching for the perfect bolognese, okay? So let's see. Heston, I don't know who took you to this restaurant, but the fact that these restaurants serve pasta like this, it doesn't mix the pasta with the sauce, it's already a no-no. It's a very touristy restaurant, I'm sorry.
Whatever that might be, tell I've ever eaten. I think it just...
See, he says that, but then the chef does this. I know this video's a bit old, but I've been to Bologna many times, guys. I've never seen this happen before. Okay, I'm sorry, but this is not the boy you want to show people. If you want to learn something about Bolognese, you go and watch my video. I've got a video where I go searching for the best Bolognese in Bologna with Tina, who is a master pastaia from New York, who lives in Bologna, and together we search for the best Bolognese. We never saw this. No way. I just want to see how he makes his Bolognese.
So I too start with the sopprito. This is at the heart of nearly every legume or classic Italian sauce. It's very simple. It's a combination of onion, celery, and carrot.
How can you go wrong with that? Beautiful.
Now I'm going to add an ingredient that will be unthinkable to many Italians. This, garlic. In this pan, I've got some finely sliced onions and a little bit of olive oil. And now I'm going to add to it some of this, star anise.
What? Okay. So the garlic, 1 clove of garlic, in my opinion, doesn't do anything. I'm sorry to say that. It's really with the onion sounds good. But now you're adding the star anise. Star anise is an Asian, goes in Asian cuisine. It doesn't really go in Italian. You don't really want the taste of star anise in your dish. My friend Marion invited me to her house. She actually made a dish for me. She made a quick lasagna in the pan and used star anise. To be honest, I didn't enjoy the flavor. I didn't enjoy the what I get here in my throat, the kick I get here. It just doesn't belong to Italian cuisine. Like, why do you use that?
Star anise is a very special property. When cooked together with caramelized onions, it actually turbos meat flavors. This is a brilliant tip for all meat dishes.
I understand what you're saying. I understand, but we're going a bit too far. I
Now, transfer them to our casserole. If you look in here, all these brown bits, it's just packed full of flavour. There's absolutely no point in throwing that away when it's tough to work. So what I'm going to do is deglaze the pan. It's a classical technique. White wine. Very careful on the pan, making sure you get the flavours. It was really interesting to see that as far as the British public were concerned, they were very conservative when it came to spaghetti. But I needed to drive the recipe forward. But I had to do it in a way that was still presentable as spaghetti bolognese.
How can you say spaghetti bolognese? After you beat Bologna, you know it's not made with spaghetti, it's made with tagliatelle, and you still say spaghetti, don't say spaghetti. The reason why we don't use spaghetti for bolognese, bolognese is a rich and bold sauce, and spaghetti can hold the sauce. You eat tagliatelle, fettuccine, pappardelle, because they hold the sauce. So when you put the pasta in your mouth, you also have the sauce in your mouth. Spaghetti can hold the sauce, the meat, so the meat will drop. Another pasta you can use is penne, rigatoni, mezzemaniche.
Take some extra virgin olive oil, and as soon as it starts smoking, add the meat. 2 types of meat here. This is pork. It's been hand chopped, and this is going to bring real refinement to the dish.
It's very important to use pork in bolognese. Yes, beef also, even though I do prefer veal, but that's completely up to you. If you don't like veal, you use beef.
And in here, I've got some oxtail. And that's going to give it like a really gutsy base.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that's ready. It's turned a light golden brown. Now, add the meat to the casserole.
To me, the meat is way too cooked. But I mean, the meat should cook in the sauce, in the tomato sauce for 4 hours.
I'm going to use a mixture of milk and water to cook this. Bring the liquid to the boil.
This is used by a minority of people in Bologna. The wine kind of does a better job. What the wine does is tenderizes the meat, gives flavors, but also kind of help to melt the fat in the meat. At this point, I don't think there's any fat left anyway, because the meat has been overcooked. But what it's doing now with the milk, yes, it's used by some people. You must have seen that in Bologna. The water, I've never seen that happen before, because you only put milk normally. And it does a good job, I think. But because you got the wine in there, the wine should be evaporating. And because you already have wine, I think you don't want to put the milk now. Milk and wine already go well together.
I'm now going to leave this to cook for 6 hours.
What are you talking about? You haven't added the tomato sauce. You've only got milk in there, and you're cooking this for 6 hours. So it must be wrong. Let's keep watching.
This next step is the most crucial part of the recipe. It's going to put all the ingredients together and lift this ragu to another level. It's a tomato compote.
Respectfully, it cooked sauce for 6 hours with just milk and water. What the hell?
What?
Come on, guys. This guy is famous all over the world. He is Michelin star chef. He does something like this. How can you up a recipe, a bolognese recipe? What's the time? What are you doing? The bolognese, it's a sauce that cooks for a minimum of 4 hours in the tomato sauce. It is a meat sauce. Yes, it is a meat sauce. But you also need a little bit of tomatoes.
Here we go, guys.
Ancora, morale.
I've taken them to the point where they've actually started to darken, but not brown.
What are you doing?
So I'm going to add some tomatoes, chopped.
He's making a sauce completely wrong. He's doing on the side. What are you doing? You did this a frit already. You can't be a scientist when you cook. You can't be a scientist and a chef. You can't. It just doesn't make sense.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. Seeds and the pulp. Place them in the sieve and just sprinkle them with salt. After 20 minutes, the salt has drawn all this juice from the seeds and the pulp. And that juice contains compounds that are really going to boost the meaty taste of that. Add that to the pan. Over here, I've got another spice mix from sheeted mustard. This time, I've got some coriander, some cloves, and just a little bit of star anise.
So vaffanculo questo, ma che coriander is no, you're mixing. Now you got Chinese, now you got Indian, more cloves. What else do you
time, I've got some coriander. And just a little bit of star anise.
Ma che star anise ancora?
Next, I'm going to add some oyster sauce.
Ma per ma. Michelin star chef. Ma questo è male, scherzo. Io primo quel petto. Tobesco, ma che famo mel go to Mexico now? Does this people pay so much money to go to this restaurant? And this is what you do? Man, you completely destroy this dish when you start using star anise. Then the wrong method. You cook the sauce for 6 hours in milk. Why not making cereals? You cooking cereals? What are you doing? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thought Gordon was bad, but Gordon is like incredible next to you. Come on, man.
Some tomato ketchup.
Tomato ketchup? Ma che cazzo fa questo scemo? Questo è crazy, man. This is ridiculous. Tomato ketchup in a bolognese. Ma come back to wherever you're from and just cook the food from your area. Do not touch a bolognese. You went to the wrong restaurant in Bologna. They didn't teach you anything. You're doing something so bad. I'm glad this video is not on YouTube because I found this video on a website. Because if it was on YouTube, it would be bashed.
Splash of sherry vinegar.
Pure. What you just said, pure. Why you understand what you're doing?
Mix. No add some herbs. I've just got a couple of bay leaves and a small bunch of thyme tied together.
The Chinese takes over everything, Chinese.
Last ingredient I'm going to add to this compote. Thai fish sauce.
Pardon, we got Mexican, Chinese, Indian, Thai fish sauce, vinegar. But what the hell? This is a different dish. This is not part of bolognese. There's nothing bolognese at the moment.
Now I'm going to leave this compote to cook on a low heat for an hour. Just check it.
Like a compote. What's a compote? We don't use French word. We don't use compotes in this way. I never use the word compote in a bolognese sauce. Okay? Okay, cazzo vai. Cazzare oggi. To make me angry. What am I going to do now to relax? I'm so stressed. This is the longest bolognese I've ever seen in my life. It has nothing to do with bolognese. And you destroy the tomato. Completely killed the tomato.
My ragu has now been cooking for 6 hours. You might have noticed that I haven't seasoned this at all yet. This tomato compote is full of seasoning. When we combine the two, it's going to completely change the balance. So I'm going to adjust this.
I can't believe you call that ragu, and he's going to put a compote in that ragu. You're not getting bolognese flavors.
This ragu just needs another couple of hours on a gentle heat. Now, for the pasta. Well, I suppose the first question is fresh or dry? Now, a lot of people think fresh pasta is always going to be better. It's not true. Good dry pasta can be the best you can find.
Let's see what he's saying. Okay, it could be true that dry pasta is better, but if you've been to Bologna, you know about bolognese, you know that the fresh pasta is the best experience. But yes, you can use penne, rigatoni, mezzemani, dry pasta that also go very well with bolognese. Okay, well let's see what pasta he chooses.
So what I'm going to do here now is some spaghetti tasters.
Spaghetti, what are you talking about? You use spaghetti now? What's wrong with you? Spaghetti don't hold the sauce. So you're saying that dry pasta is better because you don't know how to make fresh pasta. So maybe go and watch a video and I'll show you how to make fresh pasta. But what you've done here is wrong again. Using spaghetti. So you're not teaching nothing to the audience.
I'm just going to strain it and a few drops, just a few drops of olive oil.
What's a lot? Look at that. This is cooking Chinese food. That's a Chinese bowl that you put rice in there. Fried rice goes in there, no spaghetti bolognese.
Sticky.
Okay, cazzo fa cosa? This guy probably been to an Italian restaurant once. When you work in a restaurant, because I made pasta for many years in restaurants, you cook the pasta, let's say the spaghetti cooks in 10 minutes al dente. We used to cook it for about 5 or 6 minutes, half the time. And then you put it in this tray, put olive oil to prevent from sticking. So what you do during the service, you don't have to wait 10 minutes for the spaghetti to cook. Instead, you get a portion of the spaghetti and only need to boil it for 2 minutes. So you maybe went to an Italian restaurant, saw this technique and thought, oh, that's the way I cook spaghetti. I don't know the way I cook spaghetti.
There's just going to be some properties here that I'm kind of immersing myself in the whole smoke.
If you were a proper chef who respects Italian food, you would put the spaghetti, even though it's wrong, the pasta, straight in the sauce. Okay? And you're not doing that. So you're not respecting traditions, you're not respecting culture, you're not respecting cuisine, you're not teaching nothing to anyone.
Just a little amount of salt.
He knows it doesn't taste right. It's his face. He knows it's what the f*** done. Sorry to make this weird, but that's what it said. His face. Look at his face. He said, what the fuck is this?
Some more pepper. Now, yeah, really going to work well with the oxtail. Something's a very rich meat.
Wants to make you believe the salt and pepper will fix this.
Here I've got a couple of herbs, tarragon, parsley, and some of the leaves from the celery leaf.
Oh, I got it. I'll be hands up to you. But can you believe how many ingredients this guy used for a bolognese? Ma tutte rendi conto? Ever create his recipe. Nobody can create his recipe. It's useless.
Just gonna have a bit of sherry vinegar.
More sherry vinegar. This thing in jar cocktail, what is it?
That acidity will balance the richness of the stew really well.
Oh, I got it. You put this at the beginning, you do it, then you let it evaporate and disappear. You should have put a little bit of milk to kind of mix everything together. Okay. That's not even a ragu. That doesn't look like a ragu. What is that?
You'll have a little bit of butter.
Sì, butter. Oh, yeah, il making risotto se combine everything together. Ma che cavolo? C'è il job.
A piece of advice, never trust the cooking times on pasta packets. Always use your own judgment.
Like first, never trust this guy making bolognese because he probably one of the worst bolognese I've ever seen in my life. Second, always trust the cooking instruction on the packet.
Now I'm going to show you a great technique for presenting pasta that's going to still leave this dish looking like spaghetti bolognese and take it to another level. You need one of these. It's a carving fork.
Spaghetti on top of the shopping board, ma che matto questo? On the shopping board. Look at a knife for spaghetti. Oh, I've never seen this stuff before. Can you believe what this guy did? Can you believe what this guy did? These people have millions of dollars. I'm not millions of dollars. I want millions of dollars and retire tomorrow so I don't have to look at this anymore. He didn't even mix the spaghetti with the sauce. I already did the spaghetti. Look at that.
Spread the ragu on top of the pasta.
This video is to show you if you've never been to Italy and experienced Italian food very well, you cannot cook Italian. If you've never spent time in an Italian kitchen, or you've never spent time maybe watching my channel and channels like mine who work hard to teach you to cook Italian food, you will never cook Italian food the right way. I'm sorry. You will never do. It doesn't mean you have to be Italian. You can be from anywhere in the world. But this guy definitely can't cook Italian food. So if you don't put passion, love, and knowledge, don't even try cooking Italian food. Or don't even call it Italian food. Anyway, guys, this video really made me upset. Well, I hope I'll see you in the next reaction video. Unless you help me to make a few $1 million. I don't know, just donate $1 each. All of you, donate $1 each to me, please. You can support me on the YouTube channel, you can support me on Patreon, whatever you want. Give me $1 each. Make me retire so I don't have to watch this anymore. I don't have to do this anymore. Because it's really hurting me, okay? Really hurting me. This guy's a millionaire, and look what he did. I try to work so hard to teach you the right thing, and I even get bashed here on comments, and people attack me, say, you're too traditionalist, you're too close-minded. I prefer to be close-minded and traditional, and eat amazing food, and see this that's what I just watched. Anyway, thank you guys. See you soon.
You were a hero. And then all of a sudden, you became a villain.
And I see myself as the same person I always was.
What do you think had the biggest impact of you becoming a villain?
And let's say, for example, October 7th somehow, made me a villain.
Do you think you have any blind spots? Tucker said MAGA was betrayed.
Giant fissures that have emerged inside the conservative movement.
They don't trust JD because they think JD's been compromised.
If that's what JD Vance gets for all of his loyalty to Tucker Carlson, that'd be kind of astonishing.
They respect you, but they love him.
I would rather say 100% of the truth.
I believe Daily Wire without Ben Shapiro shuts down the next day.
When Jeremy and Caleb fired Candace, I thought that they should publicly explain why they fired Candace. Well, I think that it is evil what Candace Owens has done to Charlie Kirk's family. I've taken a bunch of positions that my audience does not like, including the position that Donald Trump did not win the 2020 election.
You had a vaccine position as well.
Please ask me about vaccine. For the love of God, there are certain bright lines I will not cross, and one of those bright lines I will not lie. I won't do it. I've been labeled alt-right 1,000 times wrongly because the alt-right despises me.
Oh, Nick Fuentes. Did you ever have him on?
Would I ever have him on? I mean, it depends. Again, if he were, I would. The answer is.
So, do you think there is a growing problem on the right?
A civil war is brewing in the Republic. Transgressive politics is always attractive to young people. Whether it's Hassan Piker saying he loves Mao on the left, or whether it's Fuentes saying he loves Hitler on the right. You joke about Hitler, you joke about Hitler, and at a certain point you're like, am I really joking about Hitler, or was he really kind of okay? Piers is trying to pin him down on his beliefs about the Holocaust, and so what Nick does is he immediately launches into a bunch of jokes about the Holocaust. Is everyone smarter for having heard that? I think actually everyone might be stupider for having heard this.
Do
Do you think there's a net positive to society with Piers Morgan's show?
Yeah, I said that he's basically the Jerry Springer of political talk. Here's a 5-person panel, and here's Hitler, and here's Air Bud. I would say that mostly what Piers acts like on his show is a slightly foolish child. I mean, come on. Like,
Did you ever think you would make it? I feel something like it takes sleepy victory. I know this life meant for me.
The future looks bright. Handshake is better than anything ever signed right here. World War I. They said So, Ben, I guess we're doing this.
yeah, why not?
Yeah, we're doing this. So I know the first time we sat down was in your LA studio in 2018.
Right.
And then that was the podcast we did when I asked you, I said, so who do you think is going to be a president in 2022? 2020. He said, I think Joe Biden's got a chance of becoming a president.
Yeah.
And then next time around I came to you, we did a podcast in the great city of Boca, and then we're doing it here, part 3, with the two of us. So I appreciate you making the time to come down
Thanks
here.
for having me. I appreciate it.
And I think
Very cool studio, by the way.
Well, thank you.
It's
You
an
guys
honor.
were playing basketball.
Much more fun than our studio.
Right before, you guys need to know this, Ben asked for tissue because in case he gets emotional, so we brought him some tissue. Adam was here since 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting for you. He doesn't get here at 9 o'clock, but he wanted to see you. But open question for you to think about. When I talk to kids, when I talk to folks who are in their 30s or 40s, and I'll say, what was your transition of becoming a conservative? Well, I used to be a liberal and all this stuff. I don't know how many of them will tell you, I watched Ben Shapiro, right? I was watching Ben Shapiro, who was the OG guy on campuses before Crowder or Charlie was Ben. Ben, the first time I watched him on Piers Morgan a month after Sandy Hook when he talked about, hey, it's not about the semi-automatic weapons, why don't you take the guns? And you brought up the Constitution, oh, that went viral, right? Or, hey, the guy that puts his arm on your shoulder, and you said, that's mildly inappropriate. Yeah, the transgender Caitlyn Jenner, and I think that was Dr. Drew, and then the physicist, I'm a mathematician, you're not a biologist, all these clips that would go. So you were a hero. You were the guy that people looked up to. You were the guy that people would share with others and say, this is why I'm a conservative. Watch this guy. And then all of a sudden, an evolution happened after October 7th, where you went from being the hero to, on the conservative side, you became a villain. A little bit to some of the folks.
To a certain segment.
To a certain segment.